Salon people and then party them. Sierra Gem Media will be bringing you a variety of programs ranging from documentaries to discussions, interviews, news, views, sports, and entertainment. Our programs will contain matters on development, governance, the economy, and issues that are of importance to Sierra Leone. So, no left BNO because we get Beberebe program then like salon discussion, meets the ministers, the president's hour and the Gladi program. Look me, I look you. All this they start soon na www.sierragemmedia.org. Now who's tem these?
The total population of Sierra Leone in 2019 was stated approximately at 7.8 million. And the most common cancer reported in 2018 was breast cancer, with an incidence rate of 25.1% and a mortality rate of 19.2%. Ward 2 at the Connaught Hospital, Freetown, is a female surgical ward that cares for patients requiring breast surgery, chemotherapy, and palliative care. General surgery also admits to the ward as see fit. The ward is in need of a significant refurbishment and has a major impact on patient assessment and delivery of treatment, dignity, comfort, and infection control measures. The current ward area presents a significant challenge to infection control. There is no fit for purpose or adequate personal hygiene facilities. The showers and sanitary areas are in poor condition and are difficult to clean. The flooring is deteriorated. Overall decor and fabric of the walls need repair and full decoration. Furniture, cupboards, and shelving require replacement. The sluice, known to be the dirty utility room, is in poor condition and needs replacing. Windows need to be replaced as current windows bring in draughts, dust, debris, mosquitoes, and rodents. There is no designated area to provide a day service for patients receiving chemotherapy. Medical supplies is desperately needed. Therefore, we need a total amount of £15,000, which is equivalent to 195 million leones, for this project. This project will focus on women diagnosed with breast cancer and other non-malignant breast abnormalities requiring one or more of the treatment modalities that are currently available. We will also set up a day unit for the administration of chemotherapy and provide training and development to ensure sustainability. Therefore, I am pleading to all individuals, organizations, and local businesses, and every Sierra Leonean and friends of Sierra Leone to make a meaningful contribution that will never go in vain. Ways to contribute will be seen at the end of this clip. I am Aissata Cissé Jallow of the Health Show Partnership Program. Remember, your health is your wealth.
Hill Valley Academy is a school that provides the very best opportunities for our students to develop, grow, and mature in most of what life has to offer. We actively encourage academic excellence with a sense of responsibility. We look forward to welcoming you to our school and to meeting you in the not too distant future, because together we achieve the extraordinary.
Mina Yvonne Akisoya, and 11th May 2021 make me 3 years where I don't day in office. I say let I come and tell Fritonians them, una boku boku tenki for where una elect me and when I give me this mandate for serve una. But I not just want to tell una thank you for when I elect me, I want to tell una thank you for when I don't work with me and work with the councillors, work with the staff of Freetown City Council, work with so many stakeholders, including the central government, the international partners, the local partners. I want to tell una, the Freetonians, and thank you, but I want to tell all the other groups and the Boku Boku Tenki. Together, we embark on a journey for Transform Freetown, and in nobody not been say it go easy. We published the plan in January 2019, and then in January 2020, we published our first year report, and then in January 2021, we don't publish with 2-year report. Inside the reports and day, you go able for read in much more detail, waiting we don't achieve. But family them, I still I just share today some of the things that really make me heart gladdy pan this walk here. One thing I really glad about, now the wastewater treatment plant where we don't build na King Tom. This is not the first time ever in the history of Salone for let we get the thing where we come on the toilet. Instead of it just gonna grow na King Tom, it actually they go into a plant where they get for separate the solid from the liquid and get for treat them and waiting for come out can go towards manure. It can now be safely, the liquid can now safely be disposed into the waterways. Another practical thing we are so glad for, now this urban farming project, we bring over 300, in fact we start with 300, now we add another 200 women them. We now at them backyard them and in community level, particularly in the deprived communities.
And you can create this, where you give, the okra they come up, they will plant them.
The women they do farming projects where go benefit them picking them for get more nutritious food, but it go also help them for get small thing at the end as then sell them in the market. And then their nursery school. Family then go no say we've been done open the one at Congo Water Market for make vulnerable women them and then young picking it under the age of 5 get free quality preschool care. And now we dip and build the second one. We do refurbishment upstairs in the Croton Road Market, and that facility will be open and available to women and men traders inside Croton Road Market. Tricycles. Well then tricycle and they not only then they help for keep we city clean, they also they create employment. We don't create so far over 1,200 jobs with young people then where they go and collect dirty na the streets. And now we get 90 more where they come on stream. So I'm so happy because it increased the capacity for collect dirty. At the same time, it increased the number of people them, young people that we get work. Let not talk and not talk about the transfer station. When I did the dirty, then they go. So we don't get 4 additional ones, including the one at Lumley, the one at Approved School, the one at Shell, and the one at Allentown. Bele Uman them. Then they all over the community. That journey for going to PCMH, it can challenge Boko of them. So we do work for upgrade 5 of we PHUs them for make them be monk, side with side Bele Uman, the able for born. Freetown people them, Boku people that know say dog na challenge na this city. And so we don't start a program for sterilize, vaccinate the dogs them so that we go get control over dogs and we the ambog motaman, but we the ambog themselves. We go make we city healthier and it go reduce the risk for let people then get us sick with and call rabies. I don't share small about wait we don't do and over these 3 years, but I just touch the thing in Boku. I go say anybody want for no more. Also go now with Facebook page. We get Freetown City Council Facebook page. We also get Yvonne Akisoya, Mayor of Freetown. You go able for follow we. Let we continue for work together with all we stakeholders for let collectively we transform Freetown. Una, thank you and God bless you.
Talk and go, talk and come.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Sierra J Media Live on Facebook, YouTube, and all over the world. Today, I want to say welcome to una all, as I am here representing the team, the crew. But you all know, there are times when we chop and change things around and make things a bit comfortable for every one of us. But what we want to say sorry first for the slight late start because of the time differences of when we can normally start on a Wednesday. But today we get something totally different from the normal we can always get when our politics, social issues, and so many things. But it also then at the line of politics. So I want to make una sit back and relax because we get a lot for today's program. As usual, we can always say welcome to we guest them and the people who they follow we, and we appreciate the fact say you guys have been there for us to support us and make sure say when they follow what they do and when they give you advices them alongside, and we'll also listen to una and we follow up with the chat. Well, today I take Juba in place. Maybe they should don't sit today. So yeah, I am in charge. T-boy. But anyway, I the joke. Where Juba can't just they can't kick me at the seat. He can't take your own position. You know, say me na catch, I don't use for catch. The other in day today, me into not for interact better because I they represent Juma. But Juma the camo, he just go do something quick. But serious. Now, we get so many people within we communities in the diaspora and in Sierra Leone, we don't get involved in changing the face of what in Salon for look like. But sometimes we get people of older generation, I mean people in the late 50s, early 60s, and possibly to their early 70s, where they actively get involved in a specific thing what we call politics. But that don't change over the years because we realize, say, to change politics, it means everybody's hand should be on board, meaning young, old, male, female, everybody should be part of it because it is something that we all believe in and as something we feel to say, not to just one person a changer. It's a collective effort from every Sierra Leonean. Whether you're a salon or you're not a salon, you still make a meaningful contribution. Even you $1, you £1, you €1, or you €1, any amount of currency or any kind of currency where they send a salon, if you know they make a difference in somebody's life. So we realize, say, we therefore take this to a different dimension and bring down people in a way younger, young ideas, young knowledge, and young inspiration. For look, we just change that atmosphere of what we will always done to see as the frontline politics in terms of age, in terms of gender, in terms of social issues then and activities they will fit to say related to we as human beings and specifically as Sierra Leoneans. So when that dynamics they change, we see over the years, many people don't come and get involved in politics. Young people, many women, people from the diaspora, people from Sierra Leone, people are waiting at the village. So it's not just all about knowledge-based education in terms of whose school you go, what you learn. It's about how can you change the lives of normal people within Sierra Leone and what difference you will make in their life for me to become better Sierra Leoneans. So one of the people who gets today now the platform, now somebody of that kind of inspiration. We feel say, yes, it's about time for me for step up and make sure say I do the right thing. And some of that do the right thing there, now for come at the front line. And for come at the front line, not something very easy. So like last election, when I saw the first flyer of this gentleman, we come out say, it is time for like it be a presidential aspirant for the APC party. I laughed about it. I'm like, really? No, this is not a joke. But again, I have a phone call from my brother. We say, Tibanatuo, not your joke. And he's ready for it. But I'm thinking, wow, the entry level for become an aspirant, a presidential aspirant for political parties in Sierra Leone is not easy. It costs a lot of money. And for like man just knocking pocket numbers, you pull 50 million, say, well, they register, I want to be a presidential aspirant. I feel say he's more than determined. That person they more than determined. He not just want for kind into and like a joke. And if you to say, well, okay, I they go pay me 50 million and just make the stance because I feel say I getting money right now for do that. This not to the particular thing with a particular person they can't talk to today. They all about because he really believe in vision and in passion for change the atmosphere of how politics done they play within Sierra Leone over the years. So today I bring on account a young gentleman, a fine gentleman, where I grew up with at some point, because I know him personally, because me ain't to go school. But not me to say I know old like him. You always know me age. I am 35. Definitely, I am not as old as him. But I will just want to know say I went to school with him. We live in the same community, and we grew up together at some point until we go with different ways. Then we don't become a little bit of an older adult. So I will introduce to this young fine gentleman. We go tell him a little bit about himself. I will just call him name, and then he go do the rest. Welcome to the show, Chief Osman Thonkla Bangura.
Thank you ever so much, Mr. Bugba. I'm delighted to be here, and I'm immensely grateful on behalf of Thonkla. Viewers across the world, start from Sierra Leone, good evening, to the United Kingdom, America, Asia, Middle East, and across the world, all could share morning, good afternoon, good evening. As the host don't introduce me, yes, Chief Alhaji Thonkla Osman Bangura. Yes, I just give a bit of an insight from the background. Basically, I'm born in a small village, the Eastern Province, the Kenema District, called Gileung, the last village before Bano Junction. They born me, my daddy and mama, they actually came from the north. They are both businessmen and women. Not only business, they are successful businessmen and women. So then they go that part of the world for go for money. My daddy and me diamond dealer. And when born in Gileung, can Kenema, grew up Kenema, go to school, attend there. Come back in the north, I was then I left England. When daddy, when I come and for be primary chief, current primary chief, so we say come England, went law school, come out, try small things into politics. Yes, well, the story longer. But the rationale for
so I know when you go who side you want to eat, you could just take the surface first. So tell me what I'm Thonkla, because I hope you don't mind for me to call you by your middle name, Thonkla, we will all know. But I need your honorary title. Yes. So tell me more about yourself in your kind of social way of doing things. Who are Thonkla? So people then go to understand exactly who that you be.
Well, to start with, I'm very religious. I'm a pious Muslim, and I take it very serious. And this is a thing I not just take up them born with them, and I take them very serious. So let's start from there. Even though I was also blessed to attend Catholic schools, because it's from primary school and Catholic school I attend. So that makes a good mixture. So I went to Catholic schools. I also go to a Methodist school. Now that was selective exams. And so go to secondary school at K school. When I go to the government school, I came at the best school at the East. I went there. Absolutely. So I went there as well. But I see myself as a commoner. They cut across boundaries. I don't get that ego. Say I'm not able to reach out to anybody. And I saw me day, and I saw me charismatic day, and I relate with people. Try for couple together. That's where the Thonkla comes in. And yes, I do. If they invite me to church, I go pray for prayers. The problem, I have no problem with that. Then because I'm Muslim, I know I go to church as well. Okay. If they invite me, I go for prayers. So that for me is no problem. Yes, and so yeah, this is me, and at least I get a small background in education. You know,
you can't small, eh?
Yeah. I don't have to blow out of proportion.
Okay.
And yeah, so I come into politics because they say be the change that you seek. I know the outside there, they scream, say, "Oh, I want to go into a different dimension." You got to be there, right? So, you got to be there.
Okay, hold on first. What thing are the reason we bring that you thought? Because I know for say you don't come to the diaspora, you don't study, and I know saying a chief line that you come out from because you provide up for be chief, and then you come, you don't study, you don't become a lawyer. What thing bring the drive for say, well, okay, I want to go into politics? Because you were still young then, a couple of years ago, when you decided to say you want to go into politics. What thing bring that drive there?
God bless you. There was a message sent by a leader But I think most people are not get that message clear. For me, I get 2012. I'm very clear. I say, it call on young men and women for men to step up in politics. They talk very clear. Say, we will step up in politics. But you know, say, whatever there's going to be a transition. Right. You see, politics business, you get the transition. You get a time where we change the baton. You get a time. So you got for try group leaders them when they come take over next time. So you call for Bongo step up, and I got the message. So I stepped up 2017. So I know say, because I want to retire from politics when I'm in my 60s. That's what I have to do. Now that I'm in charge, I don't know what to go back to make a be. But that, when I don't serve, make I go retire, and in fact, I have to retire as an agriculturalist. I go to a farm and produce food for the country. Now that's my intention. So I want to reach that level, they make a retire, because I know I get too much back. Just to deal with farm, they produce food, they help the country, and that's an intention. I don't know what to go back for me.
Okay.
So as I say, when I'm young, I'm vibrant. I get fine belly. I'll get things done faster. And farmer, you see, I get energy for push, for seek reform, for push, for get to what I forget to. And I feel say that was, and now it's the right time they could step up and see how they shape the country going forward. Because certainly we need for.
Yeah, go on, finish that.
Well, certainly we need for catch up and rapidly and faster. Otherwise, we are doomed. And if we do that, I think if you get people like me, now the centerpiece of that, the vote will seek for that country will better, inshallah.
Okay, so when you step out, say you want to come into frontline politics, what's have been the reaction from your friends, family members, and people who are around you when you say you've been getting this kind of intention? What was the kind of support that they gave you?
Anybody who know me from young one, and know say I'm always interested in politics, because even at K school, I studied government politics. I studied at K school, so they know say I'm an advocate, and I went to law school not only for market, just advance me, educate me knowledge, for my get the capacity for defend people, for talk on behalf of people. So that's now the rationale will influence me, and I feel say I will be a better politician if I get a law background behind me, because it give me the skills how to make those laws and how to implement them. So, and I don't look at the spectrum. Most powerful political leaders, majority of them, they get legal background. I can name it Tony Blair, Clinton, most of them, Mandela. These guys, we are lawyers. They were law graduates. So
when you are specific to profession, mostly can go into frontline politics for being leadership. Law now one, and then also the media field is another. Why then they always choose those specific professions?
The law and the media a bit intertwined, because even me actually while I do in law, I do an optional module. I study media law, right? Because media law, you get something. If you talk about injunction, it is in media law. It is in media law and administrative law. Injunction are more than the media they use them for try for slam on an injunction, and injunction are law. So from law to media, so they intertwine. So see people like the media, and most of the person who are in media, they study English, then get them perfect in English language, right? And policy and communication. So you see most of them, they come at the media, they kind of politics. It's not to say na mistake. This is something where they then get the recipe for coming into that field.
So now that you don't come now, you declare, say you want to be a presidential aspirant. What's have been the outcome of the political party APC where you been there, or where you still there at that particular time where you make your declaration? What was the atmosphere like for you and the party members then where they are around the same day?
Well, the party members, I benefit from the acronym, All People's Congress, because we need a fair representation from the spectrum. The woman, them, the senior, the young, for blend together, for get the party name, All People's Congress. So the reception was the host time. I was received including for our president. So and we ate together, we had a phone call, we had a conversation. So that for me, it's okay. It's okay. And the first attempt, the party embraced me. I don't want to say I was marginalized, no, far from it. And so I'm very grateful for that, because the party can get a platform for many people and for grow. And the platform was given to me. And I think from that time to now, I've grown up much better as I was that time. And so that is good. And I also encourage, copy them, let's say for step up, because I don't have APCB only me. and let me make it all, because you get a lot of people that get talent to put them together with the build a very most powerful team. I mean, for what could move the party forward. And according to what they happen, where the party don't embrace the reforms the way people ask for, and that's will help to strengthen the party. They go in and push away a marketable where they appeal to everybody. Because as I always say, APC now bring democracy as alone. Because if you look at the 1992 constitution, it was a gateway for multi-party system, and multi-party system is the root of democracy. So, and if we don't actually strengthen the principle of democracy in the party, I think it's good. And I will tell you, you go actually give you the platform where you go be scared to any party for complete to it.
Okay, so you now don't in the position where you don't do so for the past 3.5 years. I would say 4 years, because the campaign year to the end of the campaign and 1 year and now we don't get 3 years of the seats in SFPP. What have you learned from that period of time there to now, where you feel to say you still get the urge, where you don't declare in March, for say you still want to be one of the presidential aspirants for the upcoming election again for APC?
One thing I always forget faith. I learned say we start something to finish up. I've started the battle, and the battle got to be finished. So that one thing I learned as a boy Pekin, as a president of a world, you always and possibly ambitious. You get for try. So there are challenges. I don't want to say everything was smooth running. Far from it. There are challenges, and the point is how they build on those challenges, how they address them. The last time, I was not prevalent on the media that much. I've actually developed that challenge there. I don't address them. There are other issues where we still address them. Because one thing about them, you give for learn from much. Otherwise, you are doomed. Because if you don't learn from the mistake you make before, you just keep making them. That means you're not learning. So it is good. I did it 2017, and I've done it again this year. So we'll keep moving, because the party voting actually business and party voting all. Now when that business or party they get successors, right? So that's very good, because the thing of a continue, right? There has to be continuation. But when there's a vacuum, there's a gap, then that day the problem day. You see, we will see a vacuum current in Afghanistan, where we see that the disorder, you see the chaos, and right. That's about business and politics. There has to be successors. As the one team they follow up, the other team they come in. As that will go now, so business and politics are involved. You know, for just the one team carry on, because they will get tired. They worn out. You see, so when they get tired, they are nobody to replace them. No problem. You see, okay. So therefore, that's why I'm very good to the party. They are encouraging young ones, young men and women. Some are lawyers, some are business people, some are doctors. This is from all sectors we are represented. So that is good for the party well-being. It's very good. So for that, we are grateful.
So what's going to be your slogan for 2017, where you make your declaration?
Yes, we can.
Sorry?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
So it's yes, I can. Okay.
Absolutely.
So what's your new slogan now for this upcoming election? We don't make a declaration for it.
Yeah, this one, I call them the rebirth of Sierra Leone. The rebirth of Sierra Leone, I coin them for a clear reason. Looking at the past 60 years, I'm not sure if we get something right, but not going to be 100%. We are still going right in circles. So, and what me decide to do, I'm going to go back to the drawing board. If I'm actually voted and elected, I feel say I get that clear intention. I'll go back to the drawing board, sit down with a team across political parties, not only APC, because there are various political parties and civil society groups, NGOs, and all those stakeholders who have to say they will help us shape the country future. Sit down and look at pointers, what will get wrong and how we'll manage to get it wrong. Why we find ourselves in this position, then how we will address those mistakes going for the next 60 years when we repeat again, right? Then when that don't happen, listen, let's don't worry about starting fresh. What if we worry if we don't start again? Not want to start again and repeat the same mistakes then. Let's go and start, sit down and make a plan. Just make a plan, a framework for the country. Say, now this now so to go at this pace, we take this box, we don't take another health, say the health is perfectly correct now, we take them, promote it, kind of political, kind of the economy. So we build that foundation, build that structure. I feel say we're not going to repeat those mistakes that we've made for the past 60 years. That's why I coined my movement as the rebirth of Sierra Leone. We will go back to the board, love born again the country, and shape them and position them where I feel say those mistakes we'll do the past 60 years never happen again.
Well, viewers, you don't hear the first part of Chief Alhaji Osman Thonkla Bangura, some of the things that we intend to do if he take over the leadership of APC coming next election. But that is just a short insight of what he want for state owner in the introduction part. But I also want to remind you, I say, this not to me Sito, the more get the seats don't come, but he didn't at the corner for you. Watch me. You know, say, when you were there, the chair, you bargain for first and see what they do. Then it's okay, they go on, and they come small. But anyway, on a very serious note now, we can start the real nitty-gritty of what we make within us today. We can ask Chief Thonkla what's in mission, in vision, and how he plan for executing. So the first thing I want to make we go into Chief Thonkla. Now, one of the most important thing we I feel to say, every Sierra Leonean get concerned over, specifically we within our Sierra Leone media platform. These are one of the key things that we feel to say they affects the actual platform of what he makes Salone they move from the stage where we don't date to USA with the intent for good. When the justice system. As a lawyer, practicing lawyer yourself, and you don't study law because you feel to say, now one of the two land we're going for make you come and take over what you want to do and execute them well. What are some of the issues then where you want for bring come in terms of reforming the justice system in Sierra Leone, where we all know say get serious issue?
Thank you very much. There are two key areas I feel say two or three key areas why the church first. The first are the staff of the police. Anybody who will go law school, study law, you know, say the criminal justice system starts from the police. Now they get that gateway of the justice system.
Right.
If the police then get issue, everything they follow will be a problem. Because when I arrest and charge you, go to court. I don't see police officer charge you, go to court, you go prosecute you. No, I always charge you, or get like something to get the Crown Prosecution Service, where they're independent from anything for prosecute you, right? So that's very important. So the police them, we look at them, we not just look at them and give them a dressing down. No, we look at them, the welfare and the challenges. What I intend to do, first thing, I change police uniform. It's too colonial. I change them. Well, the color I want men and get like a navy blue trousers, then the top like a gray. But that's why the gray, but I give them that like pure American style police officers. Because when the police get experts, they get authority. The uniform says we don't use to that. They're born with them. So we grow with them. People don't get ways that come on the compare. You get we teach them as travel. So right. I change police, I change the uniform. Then why don't change the uniform? Because now the first I start, I put the threshold, the standard I want. A police officer at least will get a first degree, or at least get a diploma. Because I'm going to send it for international project for going to represent the country. You got to communicate well to other people there. If you can't communicate, that's a problem. I not just have police officers that only top brass for going to represent the country. I want junior police officers when they travel, go across West Africa or across the world for men and go do further training. For many people, that's they put a threshold of the requirements there for maybe qualified to be a police officer, right? They look at the housing issues, because you see some police barracks there, it's a joke. You see all that.
Police barracks still they exist right now.
Yeah, it's still there. Okay. It's still there because what's happening if the police officer, say in welfare, speed officer, they get the morale, he gets that the spirit for push for doing job well, right? Because they say, police are too corrupt. Then one got the current issue there. These are the issue where they put them off because they come on, look outside, look the state of the outside day, right? Look at the outside they live, like the standard of living. Then why don't get that correct? Although they work in tandem with what they have to do, are they actually make sure say then get basic amenities across the offices for doing their job, right? And that police officer no go arrest me because he might get a malice of thought, arrest me, go take the courts. No, I want maybe the police officer arrest me because I commit a crime with clear the evidence to prima facie. And they look at the salary. If the salary, you don't go say police officer, go take money from the driver when they earn below minimum wage. They look at inflation in the market, look at the food prices. You go pay probably 1 million. Okay, that 1 million, they put 400,000 or 3%, they buy our grass. It gets 3, 4 picking, then 5 picking. Mama, they picking them and they don't look after them. That 1 million no good for them a month. So what you go do, you go try to subsidize them by taking bribe, by taking money from the drivers. There. And if you have to stop that, you fight the corruption from the source. Look at the salary, that for reason. Because they are the front line of crime. So if you are pushing them to go for a crime, make sure that they are happy. Look at the salary, try for level up the salary with the inflation at the market. Since the money where they pay them is enough for make them look after themselves for at least a month and they save something.
Okay.
So if you don't tick all the boxes there, then it's time to reform them, right? If a police officer gets you strong, he or she is fired. And it's rather will get 5,000 disciplined police officers that will get 2,000 with the indiscipline, right? Not to the numbers, that the quality is standard. Like to standardize them. If it calls me for work within the regional body, for law standardized police force, I can do them, right? I will mention to the police officer, he gave a good accord to go be a witness, and they clearly communicate in English. But that's all you as a government for invest in the police force. Not just say, oh, the police are corrupt, they're criminals there. No. What have we done as politicians for elevate their standard of living? If you got that right, then you police officers still, you don't say the standard of living don't increase, they are still go to chase drivers in the streets, but that means you are challenging the government and you are going.
I go let for ask you.
So that answer, no, hold on. That answer, sorry.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying on one side, but before you continue the second side, I just want to make you know, say, I will therefore ask you when you finish for complete that particular section, how you intend for fund all of what you say so in terms of reformation. So
yeah, that's about
the next stage.
Yes. What matter about the funding or
no? We can go to the next one first. Hold on,
okay, fine.
The form. Then we can come to how you fund them.
Yeah. So what if the police they don't go to a certain standard, yeah, fit for purpose, then I'm happy. Then I look at the Department of the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice. Now a two-in-one department where they put together.
Right.
So may I split them and they get the Minister of Justice in the focus on reforming the justice system, then focus on the president and police. Then we get the Attorney General in the focus on government matters, in the for advice government, make a reduce the workload. Because again, if you get one department out of two, you don't overburden that person will cover the area, right? So if you split time, it make it easy for them. It give to do a job and focus. Not say this is my job I have to do for the day, right? So at the split that office, and they make the office of Attorney General one side, then the Minister of Justice another. Then in go focus on reform the prisons and the police, work with the police and the prison and the crown. Well, the team they prosecute in the court. So that part of the reform there. And again, what I be talking about in 2017. The Panama prison, one is overcrowded, and then a very key area of say now waste of space. So I want to move them to other area. Either I'll go expand another prison or build a new one for more people for replace the Badeba Road. The other area, I say me go and build like a shopping center, or I'll move either law school go there or the Ministry of Justice and the General Office go there. It depends how if I'll get investment it can quick for try for the place a building the way I feel saying it will be a state of art. Or I make like a shopping center down on the ground car park where it go serve that community where the local office there.
So also you the intent for take the prison services too if you ready for pull up from Pademba Road. We all don't know saying that they don't do from time in memory.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean like that. It don't do it, but this is that area, listen, that land it don't become one of the most one of the most key areas. That is yeah. So I'd rather put investment where they create jobs. Then I have like a shopping center underneath to get a car park where people they pay for park, and that's the count revenue for help the city of Freetown, and it also create job for people that we youth man away and jobless. So that's an intention. So for move them out, I get a lot of areas where I can move them. I can go to Mafanta. I go to after Beguma. I get a lot of areas where I go to. So
you didn't disclose the area. It's where you tell for put the Okay.
No way.
Okay. All right, no problem. Well, let's keep continuing with the information of the justice system.
And it's part of reform. It's part of reform because I did go across the country, look at the prison there because I can it be possible. I'll be visit one prison, one cell. I look at the conditions. I feel say they are not palatable. We'll therefore try because it's part of their human rights as well as prisoners. They are not there only to be punished because one of the three key elements for let you put someone in a prison are treaty. Those treaty must be addressed. If they send out a prison for let protect the community, they send out prison for go to rehabilitate them, that will happen. Then they send out prison for making say the crime I do is bad, then it reform my counter back to the community. This treaty for present. If they're missing, then that person just go lock them. Change in behavior. So this is part of the reform. We'll come out, get workshops across, and I'm happy now we'll get this group of friends away that advocate for prisons rights. They're very important, and we'll also give you an alternative settling a dispute than avoid going to court. So that all is part of the reform office for trying to bring in place for more address which challenges them.
Okay, so that's the reform on the justice system, right? Okay, so now how you intend to fund this? Because again, in the West, when you have policies, you have issues that you want to raise and you want to implement, they will always ask you, how are you going to fund this? Where are you going to get the money from? How are you going to put together all the funding for make sure say you reform the police force, change their uniform, make sure they then get better welfare and get for them something where they're not able for come back and corrupt the system. You also not look at the prison system, how you want for change them and make sure say you take them to another location and then try for do another establishment that the current state of voting Panamba would stand for right now. How are you going to fund all of this particular section of what you want for take as a reform in terms of the justice system in Sierra Leone?
Thank you very much. Well, first thing why I've been saying, I say if I'm going to be elected as the next flag bearer of People's Congress, are the set of committees where they look at various institutions, look at the shortcomings, look at the challenges, and look at the budget. Right? Where these things are established for at the given 3 months, these committees, therefore try for investigate, give me raw data, and the data need factual evidence. Where they come and say this is the state of this department or this institution. When I don't get those facts handy, then I will actually disclose or I will identify, okay, yes, this area is so budget within this area, either it's too small or Boku, and the cost they bring Canada. Then there are a lot of areas. One important thing I feel say, we are not measure, but now because you actually discuss at the counter, now the foreign direct investment. Sierra Leone cannot grow only on public sector. The private sector, including the United Kingdom, now they feed the economy. Very, very pivotal. So if maybe market Sierra Leone is ready for business, then I know they don't say the country is stable, right? And business will flow. One of the people why they always slot in those investments, those companies they can register, this company where they come for work as alone, where they come for open business alone, are the tax. Those taxation, you not only go by education, but it kind into the justice system. And even one thing I want to mention, the judges them, I feel the best to go to church them because I don't mind. I can actually come to the UK, where I get connection, talk to ex-judges them, for train with judges them, either through by Zoom, or they also say, or we'll hire them and then go train them in there. You go tapping, see, the laws they change every day, and criminals, they develop new ideas every day. So therefore, we say therefore involved into the probation for catch them up. You see, so if you get a judge who don't practice for the past 10 years, that judge may go back to classroom, may go refresh, may look at the way criminals they behave, look at the way the system across the world, the way how they involved. So we will mirror that. So that we don't do that because we don't believe them. We just have to strengthen the capacity as judges, as lawyers, right? So we can do that. Even law school, what I would say, the law school, we need for part of law school, to know law school in the United Kingdom. For me, if I have the chance, I would want to make a law school in the UK for draw the question and draw the syllabus from here, right? Because if that happens, that's why they standardize because those lawyers where they pass to law school, they are in future going to be judges, going to be lawyers for the government, going to be lawyers in the high street. So therefore, for make a big standard at the marketplace, at that platform, they therefore try increase the level of standard way we will help we change the entire judicial system in the country. So that's very important. So the judges said that they are part of this reform, not only the police, the general office or prisons. The judges as well, they also need sometimes they need for refresh, just like nurses and doctors, where they train, where they practice. So if they don't practice the next 4 years, may they go back to classroom, or may they go for even the seminars for what teach them like new medication we don't come out, how to use them, how to treat patients. So that so even they are part of this reform, not only the two sectors of talk about.
Okay, now that you mentioned something for do with medical, I know say Salon go through a lot of trauma over the years, especially during the war and back into reality. Still trauma still there into the minds of so many people and we possibly haven't been tapped into, because some of the things that they traumatize people now some of the facts of what thing they do during the war as perpetrators of the war and also victims of the war. But that hasn't been said. A lot hasn't been done for reform them people and therefore rehabilitate them, for bringing them come back to reality. And I believe say that don't affect the mental state of so many Sierra Leoneans them we possibly go on there between the age of 25 to 40, 45, where most of them now are parents them and are then supposed to be the workforce in Sierra Leone, but now most of them are traumatized with a serious amount of mental health issue. I know saying as somebody we're very passionate about that particular issue there. What thing that you take on that and how you feel to say you have to work into creating a better health system for make the mental state of Sierra Leone and then become very stable and make the country grow from that point in time?
Well, before I address, I know say because we come from a law background, so I don't get expertise, but I get the desire for reform that party. So what I do, I don't partner with a psychological company. Now you can away they get more than 25 years experience for they don't build me a project. This is a project where they build only for Sierra Leone, right? Even though it's up in Africa, but this is something where the United Nations don't approve. Now a brand new project where they build for Sierra Leone for the projects now based on psychotherapy. So then they actually instill them across all institutions, education, agriculture, the laws everywhere in the cut across. They do it because we know say the ripple of the Civil War and the Ebola and the Muslim cut across. There are some people today in Sierra Leone because I saw the war, I saw the brutal part of the war from Tongo, from Kono, Segbima, now Hanga, Kenema. Now listen, I saw the brutal part. If you take a look, sir, I was there. So there are people connected in Sierra Leone that see their mama and papa kill in front of them. And they were children. They grew up with trauma and we left those trauma unaddressed. That we are guilty as any other person, as politicians, because this is something we cannot mess around with, right? Look the case of Rwanda, the genocide. Those guys will be treated up to now. The government fight for trying to treat those traumatized people. So if you see papa and mama kill them in front of you, then they let you go through that trauma, and that depression, untreated. That they minimize your capacity for deliver, even if they employ you, because all the time they get a flashback, they cancel you. So what we tend to do, we tend to create the awareness, because there are some people who are depressed, that's alone, but they are not talking. They know they talk, they shame, because they shame. Oh, come on, they go see me like this man, right? There are some children still that they are suffering autism. We don't get the capacity for diagnose them or for treat them. So I decided to bring this team where there are a bunch of professionals for work with me, and they're ready for training from civil servants, teachers everywhere, right? For training with brothers and sisters, and then get the expertise for treat to brothers and sisters. I'm trying to address this here because this issue should not be ignored. We have ignored it for quite a while, and it's not helping us. If you haven't got a workforce for deliver to the capacity where the country will grow, and again, one thing I want to tell you now, I base my campaign on growth. Because Sierra Leone, we cannot grow as a country without attracting growth. We're going to try to produce, for get growth and make sure the country it is financially independent. And it's about time for us to move on. For us to start for the CS. Indeed, most of this project, all the investment, these are money raised from Sierra Leone, not only coming from foreign aid. These are money coming from, because we'll get the charters, we'll get the minerals from raise money and build certified hospitals, build schools, build roads, construct bridges. We'll get the minerals. But all we need at the management better for more use natural resources for more trade that country. And also this story almost from time to time. My face say me, I'm a different breed of politician. I'm not going
to hold you on that because there is a lot of things they want to hear from politicians. I'm a different breed politician, so that is listen. You know me. Well, again, yes, I will testify for you as somebody who I know. Whenever civilians put on the coat or the jumper or the hat of a politician, what you used to know is not the same thing anymore.
Yeah, that's true. But listen, I would take a covenant from anybody that I won't change. I will. Honestly. No, because this is where I step into politics. We've got to get this right. This is key rationale, right? Don't go to bother me say, I go there go for money, don't forget this and rich. It's not going to happen, right? Waiting for me, look at Sierra Leone, the legacy. Looking at Sierra Leone, we'll get new city, we'll get new airport, we'll get better hospital. We'll never go Ghana, we'll go do dialysis. We never go Ghana for go do ordinary operation. We do a salon. We get brothers. We are doctors. We are well trained. They're ready to work to change that country. That's a legacy we're proud of as a politician. I foresee the country will get 4 lanes. We'll get new airports. We'll get 4 lanes from Mashika to Kenema. We'll get 4 lanes from Mashika to Guinea. Right? Wow. And that's the legacy I foresee. It's not about going there and start fighting, putting money in their back. No. I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. I step into politics for actually change the status quo for get this right.
Right. Before we go to the next question, I want to bring Camille Man now into the play. Welcome to the show, Mr. Jumaba, and I will co-side along you if you so wish. But welcome to the show, and let me hear it from you. I know you don't join me for the past half an hour, but you just watch and see what's happening. So over to you, Juma.
All right, hello, thank you so much, T-Boy, and thank you to our guests, Chief Alhaji Thonkla Bangura, and to our viewers, I say welcome to Una, and glad for joining Una. Apparently, I be done, na blue I be well, as Fulaman, but for let Una not get me confused, Una feel saying I flow, I go change for the near T-Boy small, so we look alike, kind of, Then the handsome one, anyway. But
welcome.
Yeah, we're happy to have the former, presidential flag bearer aspirant for the All People Congress, one of the youngest, and definitely, we always say, CRGM media. Now we they lead other people and they follow. So more day for come. But the reason I make a smile listening to the Chief Alhaji Thonkla Bangura, because I remember we covered the APC manifesto launch for 2018 elections. So he was there because all the time while the chief have been facing our Upa. So I said, and then I somebody promised me like Chief Alhaji Thonkla Bangura. I was like, okay. So, he listened to all the manifesto promises but then the APC not win. Then you have the SLPP that are making the same promises that he's making right now. And then say new direction. Talk and do, because instead they use the languages, I make at the refer. But before me come and ask anything, I want to go ask waiting. They follow the chat group, okay? And if I follow, get we audience them involved. So people make certain strong comments here, and those sentiments or comment that they made. It's not just, it's a common one, because the trust about politicians and people in politics or when they occupy political positions. So I'll read to you exactly 2 statements from the same person, okay? You talk about the psychotherapy that we need the effect of the war. So Mohamed Kamara, at the reverse, Mohamed Kamara say, the trauma of bad governance is worse than war. Sierra Leone have moved on. We need honest and good leaders. Okay, so I want for you to take note on that because I would like your comment on it. And in second statement as well that he made, very important, you know, that you made all these promises and T-Boy asked you a follow-up question that, you know, how you go deliver. So this is Mohammed's comment. Say politicians always have all the goodies for the masses, but no sooner they assume power, the masses become their enemies. They use the police against the masses, corrupt the justice system, and influence the legislative arm of government, including civil society and the fourth estate. We don't trust you guys, especially the two main political parties, that the SLPP and APC, that have impoverished our nation. Nothing to show for the past 60 years. I would like to hear your comment from Mohamed Kamara.
Thank you, Mr. Juma, and thank you, Mohamed Kamara. Well, see, I'm happy this event we are engaging into conversation, and that's good. I'd like to get comment from the audience and from us as well. Talk about two things: honesty and well, anybody who know me, that's now one of me credentials. I don't want to say 100% honest, but I try to be at least 90% honest. And I talk about integrity, and they know, say, I'm a man of my word. Anybody know me, say, I'm very disciplined. When I say I'm going for this, that's me. And you know, just bend me so, you know. You see, and I always seek national interest. Anything where they go against Sierra Leone. Let me tell you something. During the war, the team don't change. And I swear to me, God, I say, me, I'm not going to take arms against my country. I'd rather die as a civilian. I say, but me, I'm not going to ever take arms against the country. So I try to move away. They follow. I left Kenya Makalo, they follow me there. I go through to follow me there. I was just hiding. Say God pull me there. But for say I do anything against my country, I rather remain like I did so than I take position for go destroy me. And I don't take oath to God. I say power now you give, not to me, make the president. Now you give president. If you need to me, I'm the leader. We ordain for change that country, make it from easy. But if you say I go better myself or help change lives, put me in a position where I go help change lives. Today as I speak, then give me a call after town. I'm about I don't know one day. I say this might just give an example of me. I don't know how me auntie just call me say Bobo, you come Kabbalah, you can't do fit some more, you know guys have a sleep. Now if they sleep I be cry. I become emotional for talking this. He say now be cry sleep, but if they celebrate kind of area, now I say Bobo, you say come out. Because you see Bobo traumatized. Now I say, well I come Kabbalah can't land there, but I know guys have a sleep. I just like bakery, then we break for sell, then I they eat. They say I want to go to school. I didn't have school, but after I don't get books, I don't get uniform. School is open. So they say, well, I will call me over in London. They call me different study. They say I get this scenario now. What you go do? I stepped in and I helped. I don't have more. And they say, this is what I do because I'm a Muslim. I know I do good at talking, but these are my traits. When I do for every country, because if you can't become a leader or president or minister or anybody, you go think say somebody will not help me, so I will try help other person back. So now so the change they continue, right? So for change people's life, that's why I went into politics, and I don't do that from time to time. I don't disclose that, right? So we first open the full country they can be tested they can boku for pay give scholarship, pay school fees, then boku. So honesty when I lack of memorism, and I know say. That deficiency on us politicians because they say one thing out of politics. When we get opportunity for serve, we do the other. Me, I'll make you hold me to account. If I dip by any portion of trust in that country, please, as he tell me to say I was there for the launch of manifesto. Please just pull me so that I say, Mr. President, if you talk this to now we show. Just hold me to account, and I'll tell you. I'll actually tell you say if me get the chance to serve, I will deliver. And I will be a different leader. That I tell you. In terms of, listen, in terms of honesty, listen, about that amount of honesty in me. I don't say I am 100%, but at least I'm not far from 100%. I try because being a monster man, I can make mistake. I can promise I don't be fulfilled because sometimes there's something. We don't go beyond control. I need for controller, so it can happen. But for say I haven't got problem with honesty and integrity.
Well, like we said, the good thing is, you know. If we're not able to offend you, where's you old T-boy? You know, so go fail you. Because now you brother now grow up and all that. So when we arrest you, brother, we don't manhandle T-boy for you breaking your promises, you'll step in. So over to you, T-boy.
You not justify that, so you can't justify that.
No. You know, first time they say where they maltreat the full man, them old one and put an aside, they say why escape, they just go and treat them, call by law. Anyway, wait on the old and for carry it. You know. Well, over to you, T-boy. Thank you so much. Me go to monitor the chat group and I will come in from time to time, or you let me know when you want me to step in.
No problem. And thank you once more again, Juma. And I say, like I say, when you come, you take over the platform. Yeah, that's cool. At the end of the corner, they watch. But anyway, I don't read through some of the questions that really happen at the chat, and there are so many interesting questions. But like as Juma say, you got to monitor that day, and you got to come in from time to time. And Chief, when you make mention of the kind of thing that we want to do, especially where people not highlight the state of how politicians they can come when they're ready for kind of the platform for sell their agenda. They will tell you everything that you want to hear. And then when you get to the position, you do totally something different. So what are some of your issues then with gender disparities? How you decide for merge that into some of the thing that we feel to say will work for you if you take up the leadership of APC and possibly go represent and win the next election and be the president of Sierra Leone at that young age? What's in that young state of gender disparities and how you they ready for address that?
And I don't make it clearly. There on the paper, I don't make it clearly on TV everywhere. I say I will be the first leader of APC. We will make gender repetition of cabinet position 50% because the former president give me 30% or more. So we have to put 20%, but 30% make a 50%. The reason being that if we are going to going back to the drawing board, one of the mistakes that we will make is leaving women behind. So if we are going forward, we have to go with them. So this is one of the areas of APC for trying to address. If we are going forward, let's work with them. And they are all the sex we are facing. They are multi skills. Then will help we work together. And I'm going to say I'll go put them on top of women. Just level the organization of women, target that level and work together, collaborate based on national interest. What I say do if woman fit for put and they if not fit put anybody fit to get the capacity for some we put them work together. So for more try level that gap the way they between them and see next 50 years work with them together 50 years next 60 years how would be as a country. And I don't say country them particularly Rwanda when I have a country Zambia, Tanzania, looking at United Kingdom, look at across the European Union. See, they are bringing them up. Look at most of the boardrooms now. Even today, one of the union where I do UK there, United Union. Today they don't elect a woman. When are the first in history, a woman. They don't say they can deliver as well. So I might as well more try to catch up on these things and moving the country forward. So this is how we're going to close the gender disparity. And this not only be a comment level, they cut across parastatals, right? And even investment, even on the media, we try to encourage them to come up. Because you know easy for even see even when I go to I do so now all the few man they see Khadija and I see as a woman we come up the type for lead woman they really see them because we are not encouraging them to come up. So therefore we try to create the awareness. Say let's try and level up the gender in the disparity and see who's will be the next 60 years in the country.
Right. Yeah, quickly, T-boy. I just want for let Mr. Thonkla Bangura know say we are on record, say Gem Media, for training the most women for serve every aspect of the media where we they do. From camera, everything where we they do, we don't train more women. We right now, they serve na government positions, they serve na different international organizations. So I just want to make that record clear.
Well done.
So make sure say you come to we for advice, you'll be able to improve.
Absolutely.
What do you mean one add for that? Again, you say you want to make them 50%. Is this a meaningful 50% or just 50% for complete the quota system? Because now that's what we don't see they happen a lot. Yes, we get a percentage rise in about women getting involved in so many kind of developmental strides in Sierra Leone, but some of them are not really meaningful. Now, like you got to take a position, you hand them over to a woman, and then somebody else they pilot them from the back. So what is yours going to be that is different from what you already done to see where they happen? It's not about a percentage, but is it going to be a meaningful contribution and how it will change the dynamics?
I'm not want to I say expertise. With the virtue, you just can give position because you're a woman. No, you get for that position because you deserve to be there. So as well as demanded, because if we don't say this position is better served by a woman, we put her there. If this better for by man, we'll put her there. With the virtue, that's we have better systems. We look at your background, look at what you can do, then you come up to serve because we got whole amount of women across where they have for serve as well. Some are shy away from politics. They are scared because of the hostility from one side, right? So, but encouraging them, bringing them out, creating awareness, trying to encourage them, put down incentives. I feel say we'll go bridge this gap here. They're not just there to fill in the gap. They are there to deliver based on national interest, and that's the spirit.
So that spirit it cuts across, like you say earlier on all aspects of life. What are the major priorities of those aspects of life? Because again, if you just make them open, then it means there are going to be opportunities everywhere, but not necessarily can be filled by women. So what are the priorities of those specialties then, or those or those parastatals the way you look at, where you feel to say women will play a meaningful role if they get involved, especially when it comes to parliamentarians, ministers of portfolio, where they carry ministerial positions, head of parastatals, permanent secretaries, and banking system, something where you feel to say is very pivotal in the developmental stride of Sierra Leone. What think will be some of the areas that you need to see go cover?
For me to achieve this and get results, you can not just do as I say, but just fill the gap with a set of committees where we create or advertise vacancies, say this job is available, it no matter your sex, come with your CV, we vet you, look at your fit and position, there are some, and we mention say, if that committee will get 10 members, then 5 will be man and 5 be woman, right? So if there's going to be any gender disparity, that's going to work. So we have got the balance committee where they look at the background of that particular woman or man and look to say this person put an eye, and then just can't fill the gap, or you can't see somebody doing work. Now for there and do work and deliver, that he or she has a capacity for making one position, put a day. Like there are a lot of women that we don't step up. There are a lot of men as well who don't step up. So, and I feel say not only the public sector, even the private sector, they encourage the private sector for also do the same thing by giving them incentive, by training them. And so now I mean, luckily we'll get the women's parliament where they train women to be better politicians. So they now get the data say, yes, Mr. President, we'll get women and they are qualified, right? Some of them, they are not even members of political party. They are just ordinary Sierra Leoneans. Would give them jobs because they are Sierra Leoneans? Would put them, they may work in the country. Some are very disciplined. Although there are some women also get challenges, who advance as we progress. So it don't just be say, would the type of do this gender disparity, but type of level them up because of one for please women. No, one for make sure say the country for attract what growth, right? And if we work at full capacity, both men and women will get growth. And when we have growth, we are self-sufficient and we will implement with policy then. Because policy, if you don't get money, if the economy grow, you can't implement it. But when you have money as a country, you can put your policy to practice, right? And the first one I say, a key area I would look at, which is very important, a very fundamental to me, we need a new city. Freetown is badly congested. Freetown is badly built. Freetown has a lot of problems. So if we are free the country, let's get a new airport, a new city, when a state-of-the-art city, where would it be the hub of West Africa for fair plane there, they bring out jobs there. This I'm not promising because I'm just promising. There's a project already. Wait there for do this thing a day. The only thing now for me get a leader, a good leader wait for negotiate based on national interest. Say, listen, Mr. Man, when I get money, I can't do your port for we, a city for we, more could change the country. Because if we get a new city, that it congest this Freetown, it open up the country and we also make a day like 100 miles to Kenema, 100 miles to Poloko, 100 miles to Kono. So like not like a center of Sierra Leone, but it will be accessible everywhere in the country. What I say, it will also bring a breath of fresh air and make sure this country it has started to move on from a civil war. Say, hey, we know the grow because of civil war. If Rwanda move on, Sierra Leone must move on as well. So this is what I'm talking about.
All right, Gonjuma.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. It's like Mr. Thonkla really don't study for this interview. I don't know if I study or it means well, or not just the oratory skill of a lawyer in the use, but it seems like he get the answer to the problem. However,
Yes,
the woman they don't begin challenge you now with chat group, okay? Which I like. Fatuba is say when you say in your committee you will get 5 women, 5 men. They say no, 5 and 5 is not good. So wait till they try for telling now you need to forget 7 women, 5 men. So begin to take note. Make sure after we interview, you go back and look at the comments. It will be very helpful. I'll get a comment question for you, but I want to go to the chat group as well. Just like I say, we want our audience participation. Mr. Contedo asked the same question twice, so I think it's important. Since you grew up now the mining area, you're a benefactor of the mineral resources of Sierra Leone, whether you want to say it or not. Yeah. Even if they buy school uniform for you, they buy you football for you, everything. You're a benefactor of the natural resources of Sierra Leone. So Mr. Conte is asking, what will be your policy for the mining sector? At Society Time for us, how this we mining with natural resources will benefit Sierra Leone, everybody in Sierra Leone, whether you grew up there or not, not to just, because some Monday they talk about diamond, they don't want to see how they are. Some Monday talk about gold, they don't want to see and they don't want to utilize them, let alone it's the benefit from them. But every Sierra Leonean suffered, for the share of the mineral resources, because if we civil war, most of it was fueled by the rush for the mineral resources. When it came for suffer, we all suffered it, but very few people benefited. So that's why I want to hear your comment about, Mr. Conte's question.
Yeah, well, to acknowledge the point, indeed, so I'll put the hands up, that is true. But what I would do for rectify the challenge of the mining areas, what if any president say I'll stop mining Sierra Leone, now lie the lie. Not possible. The reason being, if we stop, like even this, I was one of the advocates for stop this dollar market. Why? If you want to stop any market, create an alternative. When you have an alternative, you don't even tell them, you lure them from the mining to this other area. They don't say if I earn £500 or $500 a month that they're mining, but they get $2,000 at this company, they are moving out. That's so you discourage them from the mining to other area. Create an alternative. And that's why I'm going to market Sierra Leone in London. Say Sierra Leone is open again for business. We need investors. I've engaged members of the House of Lords. I don't talk to some of them. I've engaged people that now carrying work with there. These are investors. And tell me if we see name like the tickets, because don't do a background check about you, when they come Sierra Leone, you can't invest. So when we have an influx of investors, now so they create alternative to the mining areas. Let me give an example. Losar, when the mining with the boom day, just them, they left now school, they go mine. They go now a lot of mining. Because their salary there was hectic than what we are earning at school. So past where put a step, no, this it creates a brain drain at this area, Mokuta balancer. So the entire increase salary, that it happened. So, and that's an example now, Luanda, now Angola. When after the civil war in Angola, they make a project out of Angola, like Valley, for move the ex-combatants them, make them come out of the city. They don't force them to come out to. They just create this project. It lure them out. The city empty. So that's why the people are mining, because the mining they create serious issue for the greenhouse, a lot of pollution, a lot of issues. Me now a victim. I've been in Tongo. When NDMC left Tongo, one of the areas of Tongo, they poison the water. No. The water was poison. And they put back babuaya. Could you imagine? They poison the water, and I was a victim. When I went there, my foot be rotting. Yes, pass through the rush can carry money come in. Yes, they poison the water, so that water is polluted. So for us to move these people from there, we go for tracking an alternative. When we do that, now so that address the mining challenge. If I say I can't to go out and shut down the mining, that will create a public revulsion. It will be civil unrest. It will be a problem. So, but if I create an alternative, like Tongolini, so Kono, and also people left Kono can work, or I create like Kailang, because I think of even like using like cocoa coffee, try to create job in another part of the country, that is they put in their mind, the crowd and say, if I can't work there, when the month's done, I get money where I don't get a money. So that's why they discourage and pull them out. So if they ask me, so what I would do now all these areas, and as we become successful, because the mining, this is part of we going back to the drawing board. We have got it wrong. We have got the managers of mining wrong. We have got it wrong. The only country now on earth where they manage the natural resources well, when I model that at world, now Norway. Norway get the best model of mining natural resources. Norway. Ask anybody and get the best. Right? So we'll go look at the model, how they become successful. Right? Rwanda, what they get that cash crops, but they are managing themselves well. So Musa will get around. That's why I'm going to the drawing board. We'll seek advice to all parties across the board and civil society groups, NGOs, men advice Musa will get around wrong. If we need if I want something, I may say, because we get one strong leader, Salon will change. And I face that question, that leadership is important to me.
All right. Thank you so much, T-Boy. Please, the chat group is very interesting. Very interesting. So what I want to say, and this exercise is important. I hear you talk about earlier. Say one of the side that way now be limitations or we be lack was the media engagement. But you see, it's important because this is part of your consultation. It's part of your research and all that, because you don't dig out a lot of things. And wait till you don't begin showing Naya. That you have 7-something million people to 8 million people where you get for satisfy their all needs at the same time. Yeah. So because once you they talk about mining, somebody don't ask you about health. Another person don't ask you about education.
So yeah. It's just a spread.
So everything they spring up. So my question to you, Mr. Thonkla, as a young man, the lucky part, you don't grow up in a salon. You don't go through everything, and at an early age, and you get an opportunity for things, say you have what it takes to contribute. And everything that you're talking about right now is on paper in Sierra Leone. On cobwebs, gathering dust, we get the first presidential debate where me and Tibo in a police station will be the watch the debate. Yeah. So, but we listen to.
We'll be in a police station for.
Yeah, we'll be in a police station. But so many things that were said, tangible promises, people told us. Politicians. So we're talking about the present government now. They read us the prescription. They read us how they're going to do it. They read us how they're going to fund it. And 3 years down the line, what we're hearing is enough easy for change country. The country we don't well for 50 years, 60 years. And the reason I make I ask you that because you say we get to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
The rebirth of Sierra Leone. Fine. But the people of Sierra Leone do not have time to wait. The kid that is getting sick in hospital, we're not to get medicine, the family where they starve, the broken homes, the violence and the lawlessness, in order to wait for go back to the drawing board. If we give you an opportunity, meaning Sierra Leoneans, what would be your 100 days plan? Okay, that means your quick fix, and then your medium for address all the service issues there when the people they don't talk about at the chat group, health, education, justice reform, and so on. I know you say you're not going to get all the answer, but we want to see if you have a framework right now, then hopefully, over time you go develop them as well. We don't want a town hall meeting where our president told us, oh, sorry, I don't mean to think about the justice system. I don't tell me so. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, the first 100 is the country will get a lot to catch up. That's something we all know that. Okay, and let me say, we are going back to the drawing board. The country is going to stop moving. That's not going to happen because there's a government in the day where they govern the country. Going back to the drawing board is part of like a consultation because as a leader, to be a good leader, you have to consult. You have to listen. Family campaign and listen. And as I learn, that's why I move on. So you got to listen, you got to go back and consult. When you consult, you look at the recommendation, Then when they get a connection, there's okay, now how to put this in place? The country not going to say, oh, because we are going back to the drawing board, the country will be halted. No. We're going to go forward. Because one thing we know as Sierra Leoneans, if we are in the deep forest, we'll just to go, right? We'll go and we know they get things right. They will keep going. Listen, the indicators are clear that we have got it wrong. So we have to come back from the bush, from the forest. Let's come back from the forest and start joining again. If that is going to change us for the next 60 years, so be it. Right? So be it. So the next first 100 days, the first important thing way is very crucial at Sierra Leone. While the first I state public confidence. Public confidence. Because when there's confidence, it resonates well at the country, investors they get confidence. Yes, that country is peaceful. Stability, national cohesion. And the mention say, are they in the middle between the southeast and northwest? Are they in the middle? Make that Mamina Villano say that people there and make everybody get confidence. We have a leader where they serve green, white, and blue, not only one side of the country. That's very crucial because investment, if you get money, you get $500 million. You have to put it as a loan. If you have confidence, say when you put on they're going to be dividend of investment. If there's no dividend, why should you go there? So the first one thing, that message first will go after the international community and across the region. Say Sierra Leone is a stable country. We are not volatile or neither at the peak of any public revolution or spark to any crisis. No, for that first for real estate, we'll get energy problem, we'll get medical problem, we'll get a lot of issues there. But we address them one by one because we say we try to chase them, we can't catch one. Let's address them one by one. Now, so we'll get things right. So the first 100 days, key important thing are to restore public confidence. Many know say this leader can't come in this country. Very important. We say in a very small world, but when there's confidence, investors they got an influx of investors, they come in. And when they come in, the country they boom. And when there's money, you can do anything. You can do anything. So they have to be very important. What I say one time, I say, maybe will be the first leader where we call them continuous professional engagement. When the nurses they teachers them, and they take them back in the classroom. After 3 years, when they don't serve, many can get fresh. Many can see how education don't move on, how the medical, what are the new medication don't come in, how to treat patients. Many come back and come like a 6 or 1 year training. Once did they work? They can't do it. Once did they work? So that more will strengthen the way the care. Because one thing very important about nursing and the care, that care from you to the patient, very very important, right? When the standard as well, because you go to some hospital, you don't go water not it, and I don't do the shots. A machine with a borehole machine, hundreds of them. They take in my area. You know how much it costs? $100,000. If I get 4, push for water. Because what's the problem? What's the problem? A borehole machine, $100,000. I can get it quickly and try for this problem. Because for hospital, no get water. It's not hospital. Not the hospital. Because first important about hospital hygiene. They want hygiene. What is hygiene water? Not so. It's very important. So if we're talking about hospital, that's the hospital. No, it's not. So if they actually say the 100 days, what are the first do? The first thing will be the type of real estate and national cohesion and public confidence. Then try to bring investors, them energy. Right? I don't want to say bad, but I try to improve because very important. There are indicators. First thing about investment, you create stability, right? You get a good road network. The legal system will function well. You get people in a way they are employable because investors now for import employ their capital in the country, right? Indicators, the energy sector, the security, the stability, the legal system, the employability. That's very important. When you have the keys there, you get an influx of investors, then the country move on.
Well, over to you, T-Boy. I'll come in again with other question at the Monitor the Chat group.
Well, like you see, the Monitor the Chat group very engaging right now. But
it's hot. It's hot.
Very, 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 very hot.
And T-Boy, quickly before you go, just like waiting, Chief Alhaji Thonkla Bangura, they say, you see the thing about, the lack of public confidence and trust. Now, in the cause some of the things, and because people are, why you not go do business? You go invest at the country, before that you go into politics because people don't get confidence in politicians. But everybody getting path to which you want to, people still they invest and do politics. So it does not mean say you only they contribute if you go do investment. You can still invest in a country, but they cause the country more problem. You deprive the country, exploit them, and move all the resources away. So being in business does not mean you are contributing, now you heart. But I just want for sound that note, the over to you, Tibor.
Now that you sound that note, I will also make mention to somebody who asked the question, see, what's in that you current latest investment in Sierra Leone apart from politics? Hello?
I'm an owner of a football team where I get some boys, some young youth, I have to drive them away from crime, give them the capacity for men that tap into talent and serve the country. And that's an investment because the money they spend, it's no joke. Because for get a team of young men for managing them, not easy. And it's good for the country because probably it's one of those players who end up playing for the youngsters. So the top talent. So that's a very strong investment. Other investment they want I will disclose now because I'm a farmer and because nothing out of politics I there for end life as a farmer. Make in for grow food and help the country. So that's my own way out there out of politics. If I don't serve the country as a politician, I think I'll end up as a farmer, then grow food and help the country.
So the football team where they set up or where you already get now, the former one where you papa been getting have been Thonkla Warriors, is it still in existence?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, I think say you define like papa in trend, but I don't know whether they come into mining sector. So that they look left than they
No, the mining, I don't rule them out. I never know.
Honestly, that's true. But anyway, we don't touch a lot about so many issues then. We don't talk about the issue of gender disparity. We don't talk about mental state issues. We don't talk about the reformation of the judiciary system and all that stuff. But I think what's very important for make every of the thing that we don't talk about within the past hour become very meaningful now when we look at the key issue where I feel to say that the representation of the people the way they represent we and how they need to do the job where they're supposed to do properly from the lower level to the middle level and to the higher level in our parliament. What are some of the reforms them where you feel say parliaments need as of now? Is it the same parliament that we're going to be seeing if you end up for become the leader and ruler of Sierra Leone within the next couple of years to come?
Well, absolutely not. One thing why I tell for do way from time to time I don't talk way in fact I will make a party policy that I don't go just do I will engage the party and see how we for put as party policy. I feel say I want to give the mandate to the constituents them for make them recall the MP in the parliament if you know they're doing job well with the Senate for. If you then get that capacity, if you get that rights for do and say they petition the MP, then call them in. If they feel say they don't do well, they make and pass a vote of no confidence in them for come out and come for by election. That's the out of key reform at the couch. Key reform where I feel say I go want make other political party replicate for make the people don't vote for the MP. If they send that parliament, they don't go do your job. They don't go do what they send for. Maybe they give right to that constituency. Maybe they get a committee where they go vote, pass a vote of no confidence for that MP. If I vote they pass, the party will endorse them. They will come for by election.
So what's going to make you get to that stage the way you feel to say the MP not don't perform according to what is supposed to do? Because also you have to take into consideration it might be a vision thing where sometimes the committee not like the MP because of one or two things we don't conspire between them all and then they want for gang against them. What's going to be the worst incident in terms of performance where the MP not able to meet for reach that threshold for making votes against them?
The MP get the manifesto where telling people that one. Now that's part of the threshold. Secondly, the party get a highest body on an act where they also assess the complete picture of the people in there. Now, I say a party policy. The party will put this is the requirement. This is the level where if the MP not actually breach those kind of conditions, I feel say the people will vote for that. If they vote right a vote of no confidence in them, if they vote say indeed they pass that vote day, they not for consider that addition day. They will look at them fairly. We're not going to say we're going to get grievance against them, even though that MP do well, when I pass a vote of confidence. If I don't say when I not get grants for do that, definitely that issue, okay, revoke them. That's how we get party structures, right? But I feel say if that day as a policy, that also will help the party make the parliament. That also will make sure the MP will know, I get something we will hold me to account if I don't do the job well. So that's not only help the party, it also help the country, right? It goes to make sure the MP do in diligence for making it do well for your country, right? So I feel say if the people that will vote for you then get grievance against you, that's why we have checks and balances. We get party structures, we get NAC way, we get the leaders where we look at the complaint, look at the petition, look at the grounds when they come out. If we see those grounds are strong grounds, of course, we endorse them or revoke them.
Over to you, Juma.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Thonkla Bangura, for that statement. But I have a couple of issues with that where I want for you to clarify for me. Firstly, elections are expensive. It's not cheap. So if you're talking about recalling, doing a by-elections, that's going to cost the country a lot of money. That's one. Secondly, it's a constitutional issue. So are you saying that we'll go for change with constitution for let that be part of the law? Because the constitution give mandate for an elected member of parliament for serve for 5 year, 5 year one term. Then after that, then can go except if the other things that will go happen, he die, sick or whatever, we make him incapacitated for let it continue for serve or criminal offense or whatever. So that means they talk about a constitutional reform, we'll get for change of constitution. And lie either party, because I get follow-up question on the constitution since you're not a legal person.
It's already overdue for reform.
Okay, because that was going to be my question. Is our constitution fit for purpose?
No. Well, I won't talk about constitution, but it's overdue for reform.
Okay.
So it's going to be part. It's going to be in tandem. Okay. Party policy, but it's going to be built up by the national constitution. Because at the end of the day, it's about time for we get a quality and more standard of people in the parliament. I'm not going to say this kind of parliament no good, but we have a lot to do. We've got a lot to do for what we try for, because if the parliament, right, if they get it right, that on its own, it guarantees to say the process of democracy in Sierra Leone, it is healthy, right? Because these are three arms of government. Both arms of government will function very, very well, right? There should be any suspicions of that something happened, right? We'll never get an opposition party in the parliament where they hold the government of the day to account seriously. Doesn't matter whether in the parliament, whether in our government, we'll get a government of the day, we'll get MPs where they do their job clearly and doing the best interest of the country. And this is one of the areas where I say we'll hold MPs to account. We can't just hold this account by the past. No, for say when I fail for honor, me promise to the people them. If you do I'm negligent, they will not say this. Or if I'm mistake, okay, you don't get the finance for do okay, understand. But when I face you, it visit your constituency once by every 6-7 months, you go there, or you go there when just young can make the government push again. No, because our democracy is a democracy based on representation. So how you represent, if you don't know the views of the people, then you need to go in and visit them. How you represent them? How you know say this area bridge business, we need bridge now. How you know this area, this community, you need a health center. If you don't go there, you don't go no. But you can visit, you can get surgeries. So go back home. We start to vote for you, for engage with people them and know what they want. You don't give them 100%, but at least go there and know the problems and how to deal with them.
So how much funding your government will allocate for proper representation? Because that comes with money. Right now, the members of parliament say they know they get constitution, community development allowance and all of that. And some of those constituencies, because we hosted a member of parliament, right, T-Boy?
Yeah.
He said he gets 2 homes for run. It gets in constituency home, then it gets for day na free tongue because it gets for the go parliament, the need for them for day na free tongue is strategic, and then it get for popo in generator where they go where they go na where they go na Lunge, get for popo in generator go Lunge where they return, it get for popo in generator come back because na that. So would you be funding those members of parliament for make sure say them able for them in constituency? 1, 2, their role is only representation, not to build hospitals, bridges, and all of that. That's the role of the central government or local government.
Yeah.
The MP role is to advocate for that community to get health center. Now that's what I would say. Right. But if you advocate, then you go to the Minister of Health, he only tap his shoulder and say, hey, oh man, the community, they struggle, we'll get about 5 or 40,000 people in there, they don't even get a health center, we'll get Kumra there, right? If you get a job, you are there for advocates. I don't say, man, MP go live in constituents, and not through that, I say, you can get surgeries. You get surgeries from time to time for engage people. If that is missing, that means you don't miss key part of the puzzle, because parliament are a parliament based on representation. How you go represent people and views them? We don't know them, right? They voted for you for making represent them. So if you don't visit them, how you gonna know? So that's a missing. That's a jigsaw missing among the puzzle. So therefore, if this policy day, you go be decided and say, I have to do my job, otherwise I'm in trouble. For Fundam, it's part of the constitutional review, right? If the country is booming, they will buy election. I not say we'll get MP the way they're responsible. Not all the time we'll buy elections. No, we'll get good MPs then. One of them, like this guy, AKK. AKK is doing very well in Parliament. I'm really proud of him. He do very well. A lot of them, I know they do, but AKK, they always stand out. This is what we need in Parliament. We need quality representation in Parliament, where I have to say it is strength to democracy. That's very important, because it's not about me, it's about our country. If we get good MPs, right, we are proud of our country. And no say, we get people who go to ECOWAS Parliament, right? If they go there, they can't defend our country, that's a shame. So we got to get things right. It's part of the reforms.
So what's some of the key things right now we feel to say need serious reform, we feel to say lack in the parliament?
Pardon? I beg your pardon?
What's some of the key things that right now we feel to say need serious reform we lack in the parliament?
There are some laws where you pass the parliament, but they're very easy. Very easy. I mean, I get concerned about the checks and balances like this. I mean, this cyber law encroach upon civil liberties. I feel say MPs if we don't stand up for making time for get them right. But if we now bring out a law where they encroach upon civil liberties, and one of them is the freedom of speech, where they also even apply to the media, right? So that's if there's no democracy without freedom of speech. If we forget rights, forget a platform as citizens, we're not going to express to say if we get grievances, we have to have a platform, right? So there are instances they want to say where MPs for stand up for talk. Look at what happened at the Panama Road massacre, that killed it. You see any MP stood up in Parliament and talk? No. So why did they for? There are a lot of instances they will stand up and talk. I'm not talking them. I don't say they are bad. No. But these are instances where MP will stand up Parliament and advocate. Because that's where they're there for. You know, go see they bury people that didn't come to a mass grave. Now, yeah, the House of Commons, not on about. It got turned over. It's not going to happen here. No. So these are the instances they want to say, MP then, they are there to advocate not only for who would elect you, but talk if there are any issue of national interest, like AKK, I mean, unless you want to in proceeding in Parliament, where they may try to bring this ECOWAS, I think like an ECOWAS health bill, where they try to do like a regional health policy. It talk clearly, it's a record. It say you get for, it say na Connaught Hospital. It say pass you buy water for go deliver. Water for pass you buy water. You if you not woman, you want go deliver. It's a record. It's a pass you buy water for make you get water for go born. That's a shame. This 21st century. 21st century. That's a shame. So these are the issues why not make come out of Parliament. I'm picking out AKK because it was serious. It's doing well. There are other individuals. I don't remember the names them. They are doing well. But this is how we wanted our MPs to behave in Parliament. Then therefore look at issues, their national issues, and come them up so that the president is not aware. They don't know. The ministers don't know. But if MP then come to the Parliament, they discuss and they now so they create awareness to the people them and so the leaders them where they get that department today. So this is what I'm looking for. It's nothing more, nothing less.
Right. Anyway, I'm not going to challenge Yanda because I want for push a little bit for say we say the president's not aware. We don't buy that. I
said sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes
because like you stated, if it's a president that is connected with the people, that cares about the people,
yes,
it listen to radio, it gets television, it get more than 4, 5 different TV stations, different channels the way they listen. So go don't see president's office, then get the pie eye, the pie nose, the pie mouth. So if they get all the one and they, yes, you only they see the one that when I threat to your office, where pa this person not like you, but you don't nobody can say, hey pa, Cottage and Connaught, Ibado, pass you by water for let comrade and born.
Exactly.
The president getting where when a first lady, you know, one day go na Connaught or cottage, me well Connaught last Connaught first. Me T-boy pull one picture where they show with current first lady na Connaught or even the president.
Why not me? The turn to
well, man, you're not the creative person because you get the archives of them. I don't know. You know, if you show me one picture of the current president where don't ever visit Connaught Hospital or the first lady don't ever in 3 years in office, then T-boy, and they buy you lunch tomorrow.
It's a shame.
Yeah, if that not happen, then you tell me say the president no, that means say the president don't care about the people left. But regardless that, sir,
yes, sir,
I agree with what you say. We have to start somewhere, and we'll get for change a lot of things. T-boy, I get 2 policy questions for you know, with potential, you know, aspirants, you know, flag bearer aspirant, no start the force. Okay, let's clarify this. You want for go be, you they aspire for be a aspirant for a flag bearer for the All People's Congress.
Correct.
Are you at the same time intending to run for member of parliament simultaneously or no?
No.
Why?
Why? Because I don't want to get distracted. If I go for one, I go for another. If I don't get time, I don't get distracted.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that.
I don't make me pledge to God. If me are the next leader of the party, make it easy. If I'm not, then I can still serve the leader where they come. That's what I've decided.
Okay.
So, but I don't have to get distracted and now focus one side and see how to get it done.
Granted. I'm just want to clarify that. Let's not send the MP no feel say you go after. Yeah, but 2 questions I get for you, sir. And these are major things, them, like how T-boy say. We want to know your take on the pervasive corruption in the country for the past 60 years, and more so now. And most recently, the economy, because we all don't see the economy don't they go in a way like we don't know if now one tire motocar on a tire motocar, we don't even know where we're going right now.
That's real.
You know, because inside 1 week, this is the first time inside 1 week for let you see bag cement from 75,000 leons. Inside 1 week, it progressed now on 110,000 leons and possibly more. That you know they even see them. This is the first time back for a long period of time. We'll see bread make front page news for say no bread price they go up, no bread price they come up. Before now we the full man them. Now we no more get to take on bread.
Yeah.
Now we they decide whether price they go up or not. If you buy, why not buy? But now they don't become a concern. I see newspaper they went at the front page. So what's we want to hear your policy about corruption. Where your take force, what's now you take on, then if you want to talk about your policy for change them 2 things here, so improve them. No.
Yes, corruption is one thing I always talk about corruption. For us to minimize it, because we can't stop it, and for fighting from the source. See, fighting from the source. We don't highlight them. They say the most corrupt asylum what they say a policeman them. But we want to look at the police, we don't visit the policeman salary and then benefits them. Did they get time on time or did they even get time? How much did they pay them a month? That money they pay them enough for buying bag rest and pay for medical and pay for school fees, transport for insect and picking them where you get. That's why I'm going to set up a committee when I am elected as a flag bearer of People's Congress for 3 or 4 months. We may do and we call them thematic research. Cut across all institutions, we look at the health of the economy, the medical, all institutions. They get different committees. They get a deadline. Say so time of the month we have to deliver on a report. Then from there I don't know the state or I know the taste of the economy idea, right? Then I will say well come on now, because if there are going to be any pay rise for me personally, the 2 people where 2 or 3 areas where I look at pay rise now the health and the teachers them. It's very important. And me, I rather than get a pay rise than we personally get pay rise. So in fact, I cannot pay JJ Blood 80 to 90 million a month, whilst I pay teacher 2 million. That is unjustifiable. It is unjustifiable. The economy, it don't somersault. It's in a very, very bad state. No, it's true. So then I'm compensating someone that kind of wage bill. I cannot justify it. I rather pay that teacher where they send that picking that to law school for making become the next lawyer, then I pay 80, 900 million per month to a minister. That is unjustifiable. Why not cut that money out of teachers? They are keeping happy because they are the backbone of that country. Talk about education. Because when I'm here, I can communicate as well because I'm a beneficiary of free education, of quality education. And that's one. I have to put off teachers them, may refrain from teaching tutorials to children of millionaires while the poor people they suffer. But how you put them off? If you match what they pay an hour's day, they are not going there. They will focus on teaching children at school. So fighting corruption, like going back, well, let's fight it from the source. Right? If that nurse, say they pay me 3 million, 4 million a month, you know what thief medicine go sell them. Right? If you know see my salary, my wage they pay me is enough, right? If you go to the hospital, he did the wait time finish, you go to house. You know just go sign commodity. Right? Because these are all elements of corruption. So even though say let's do asset declaration, that needs to stop corruption. But let's improve the living standard of people. The living, else we don't do that, now so part of our for this corruption. Look at Rwanda. I don't look at Rwanda. I'm not saying corruption, but because Paul Kagame, God give the one leader, we don't change that country. I'm not saying corruption, but it is minimal because it improved the standard of living of the people. Then you know, say if you get salary a month, that is enough for you for taking to another month and save, right? So, but also this current government missed the point, then started wrong footing. There's no way invest in the kind of country where instability is prevalent. There's no confidence. There's no confidence. Investors lost confidence. And this case about this SL mine that also send a bad message for the country. Because investors, they talk to each other. If you this is a binding contract that's from government to a private company. They don't sign and say for mine so time they will come in revoke that agreement today. They expect for the investor in our country. That will happen. Because those investors, they take phone call and call the company. This country is hostile to investors. Don't come here. So investors, when they give money, there you go stop them. Then it happens in the country, it gets a problem. Right? The instability, the lack of confidence, and this loan of mining case, this asset mining case, it don't help at all. That's why the country is struggling financially. Because the public sector is not enough for feeding the economy. And the private sector, the small and medium business, they've got the decision wrong. Even this dollar boys, what I say, make a license, maybe they pay every month, or every quarter or 6 months, maybe they pay that money, they go in a treasury, right? Charge, make them do them so that you make money out of it. But if you take them out of the job, now they don't go down on the ground. They are still changing. Not so they change. They are still changing. So now the government lost, then they still there. They are there. So why don't you engage them, tax them every month so that they pay? Because these guys, they are part of small medium business enterprise. If then they are feeding the economy because some they build house them, they pay school fees, they get a lot what you do for feed the economy. They buy cement, they buy books, and so they pay tax, right? So that's so not one person they feed the economy. This is a whole amount of people they come together. UK now what I feed the UK economy? Yeah, this country is built on goods and services. Goods and services only. Goods and services. Boy, this country, they don't see one big problem. We are moving on. And now the country economy, they will pick up. Even though they don't believe the section, but they don't pick up back because they get some policy them where they're viable. They're viable. You see, but if we are a country, while Sierra Leone is even vulnerable, then you go drive the investor. So you are making a bad situation worse. So one thing why the people go to now wisdom, more get a leader with wisdom with the free God. Wisdom is very, very important because somebody should take them, if you look at the consequence they come. You can say, oh, this leader, strong man. No, it's about strong leadership. It's about acting on national interest. Because now, we got about 10,000 plus employment when they feed the economy. Now it's finished. And is there any wisdom? No, there's no wisdom in that. So you see, when I take the show, you got to evaluate the consequence to the economy and to the country, right? So I mean, if you talk about say corruption will go fight and when there is growth. When there's money, because if there's small money around with the chase, we can't solve corruption. We go for get growth, we go for after growth, we go for compete with the likes of Rwanda, Qatar. Let's try and compete with our next door neighbors. Let's compete with them, right? We get a lot of opportunities, but we have got things wrong. That's why we are going back to the drawing board and see how we can work on things together, not only one party, together. We actually create a framework there now so we go forward. This is what I'm looking for.
Right. Very much interesting. Juma, you want to come in before I come in?
No, going first. I keep me other question. They warm up for them. Not the football team. Now what the team name? Thonkla Warriors. Yes, I didn't warm up first. Yeah.
Okay. Because of we don't make mention of so many things that we get for do with livelihood and the amount of corruption and economy. What are some of the things the way you feel to say you can bring camp for change or improve the standard of living in Sierra Leone? Because we never say then we don't tell what what's our economy, but that's not working. But we don't tell you what's the economy way needs to be fixed within 30 days or 90 days.
6 months, yeah.
So we don't hear all that. So
and Tibo is still await for Lunge Bridge.
Of course.
And you don't talk about New Year.
You don't talk about not just the New Year port, but the new free town.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. So what's going to be your own way for improve the standard of living of Sierra Leoneans then, where you don't make mention of say if you don't have enough money, corruption will not cease. But you always don't say, or you don't say earlier on, you go minimize them as much as you can if you have enough investment for make sure that people can live conveniently. What's going to be your own structure for improve the standard of living for Sierra Leoneans?
I don't see a classical example of how people live the standard improve. I will use Losal as a case study. During London mining, the first company, and I think the first company I'll go to London mining.
Yeah.
London mining, the era, these are prior to Ebola. You look at Ubra and Losal, they were living, they were happy. You see some young men, they were building houses. They get cars, they would run for them. Their salary, their wages amount was okay for them. They live well. You see, they are very happy. They say, come on, I went there 2013, 14, a while ago. Oh man, before you see, man, you can't hang around for support them. Oh, they were not coming. They're busy. They work. They are working 12 hours a day. From work, they kind of also when months long, they live a better. They give them good salary where they are happy. So that's the example. Say, if we get investment across the country, not only that Manampao, across the country. That's now one of the areas where they address the standard, right? That's one of the areas. Then if whether they choose for cheat or do nothing, now from that tax to the pay, they will take feed them for pump into them so we invest in the area. Try to balance them because we have to balance it because if you don't do that, we are making a mistake because we will get an influx of cheaters really come on and cheating industry kind of the mining sector or the north and left they can manage sector and we not do that. So what they come on the mining sector would use them to diversify the market and push it under. It happened in Luanda. Luanda, they use the money in the mining sector, they pump and other areas to try for diversify the market. Even Saudi Arabia they also say the country, they're more focused on oil and gas. What they do now they don't focus on building shopping centers across the world, buying lands. Look this just barracks. That creates buy them. They don't build it. These are millions of pounds houses. Now so you diversify the market. Right? You pull and I put in there for better a level of the country. So the key important thing for improve living standard and money. And when investors comes in, they employ brothers and sisters them, they get good salary, they'll be happy.
So what's going to be a minimum wage for get a good salary system as alone?
Well, I look at the economy minimum wage, then I look at inflation because the inflation will determine an increase, try for level up of the current economic sectors of the country. Now say I will determine and try for increase. But definitely there has to be a wage increase, both public and private. But the focus on teachers and nurses.
So what's going to be threshold amount, roughly?
No. As I work on the manifesto, and I don't have to go make a big promise here. You don't push it that much. I don't agree figures. How much they earn? Somebody earn 1,500,000, 2 million. So I look how much they earn. Look at the marketplace, the inflation rate. That's how things happen. Then try to make them look happy. That's what we do. But I didn't give figure right now saying that this is the pay. But what I tell you, I'm working on my manifesto. Definitely.
All right. Juma, you want for coming in any of that?
Yeah. The conversation very interesting and we hope say some of them things here will be actualized. And like I say, they are not new. We don't hear most of the rhetoric here, but how the rhetoric they become practical, and transform to, improve the country and change lives. Now they the bottleneck day. Let's go. You want to be a politician, but you seem like the gentle politician, the one way, they throw blows and all that. I don't know, possibly because both go both schools, so case is not the reason why. But anyway.
People are complaining that I'm too soft, I'm too religious to make the politics. But again, being religion, I shape me as a motorman.
Okay.
And we are complaining that there's no honesty in politics. So if you have one person coming to politics with honesty, so they allow me to come in. When I allow me to come in, they say, one thing I get, I'm too disciplined. I'm very disciplined, and I tend to draw the line. And because I honestly, I seek national interest. That's me.
So we know for treat you smoothness for weakness.
Yeah, weakness. Don't.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna ask you something because you talk about national cohesion and and that's key in our country. You talk about stability. Over the past years, we don't see a lot of things where people end up ethnic and tribal conscious.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there is tribalism, but people are now conscious. Say, Tiboy na kono, Juma na fulaman. First thing they go say, Juma na Creole fula femi. We don't know whether na Cambia he come out or he come out up Gloucester. We don't know side for place femi.
We know side femi come out. Not can make style for him.
No, well, we not be no side for place. But now we know for say at least one thing. Femi get black coats for burying or for married, But we're saying this for letting us sound too tense. And the reason they ask you this, because you're in a unique situation.
Yeah.
You're from the north, you grew up in the south,
I was born in the east. I was born in the east.
Yeah, you were born in the east. You do things in the east and possibly get friends all over the place. You don't travel outside. What's your
school?
You go K school. So what's your and I can't hold you accountable.
Yeah, please
because
do.
On a chief minister, is a product of K school, right?
The chief minister, it's about time sometime we go to disown him.
No, I ask you that because we don't want let you can be president.
Yes.
He talk all this good. And the chief minister, now somebody who study peace and conflict studies, he's renowned.
So, if I was him, I would ditch my peace and conflict qualification. I would ditch it now.
Okay. So what are you take on the issue of tribal or ethnic tensions or all this regional divide where don't they grow up or the cupboard don't lift? What would you do? Because you say you're a man of religion guide you and you believe in a united Sierra Leone. So absolutely. I would highly like to hear your honest not a political answer, but your honest as a Sierra Leone.
No, well, this is one of my cards. First, what I said, now first I did a state national cohesion. I go do well, it's very. This I don't want to say very simple for me, but the decision what it take based on what the decision what it take. Now I go state that confidence. This president, president with the national interest. Can support tribe, but Limba, Maningo, or Fula. No, I'm there because why? Juma, not because he's here. Probably you get a talent for making improve the media as SABC. Because even the current state of SABC, those studios are more changing. If you draw collision, look at Abidjan. Abidjan, if you see a national TV station, then the studio powerful. Probably you get contact, you get expertise for do that for me. And the draw can work it, right? Come improve with national television. I would draw, it doesn't matter your background. I don't care about your political party as long as you can do the job for me. Come and do it. That's very important, right? Based on the decision what I take as a leader, that's now going to tell you that this president, that person will talk national question because I will make a government where they cut across boundaries, where they cut across the country, and make sure say this government will come for fair for Sierra Leone. Now that's what I will do. And I don't want to say it will be very easy for me because currently the tension with the ethnically is very serious. And I was talking last week, say I'm worried about the post-election conflict. I'm worried. If we don't get a strong leader when they come, if me get I will say because me get a plan already. Say how to address the post-election violence, how to address them because now that's now one of the key areas why they send confidence to investors in this country for business. Because if we know one job then now go to our streets how killing each other, that's no go cut investors. Then say I cut serious for business, right? And it's about time for us to stop killing each other. I always say this. We have to stop killing each other because, they help me. We don't kill each other for the past 10 years. It don't work. So why don't you find another model for more to engage yourself together and work together? Not to all the man get talent for government, neither me, neither for a man. We all get talent, we all get different talent. Like me, no pull me, go put on a side, I can't deliver. But if you can't anything on law, I will deliver because I get expertise, right? If me, after me, I'm in a Creole, is it becoming a clinic, I can't do the job. Not to be the the country, right? If you already at this department for 10, 15 years, I go pull it because in a APC or SLPP. That person in the couch, you never get 1 month experience. You are killing the country. And the country they kill. Now common sense, wisdom. So these are things why I will take decision based on national interest. And I will engage your party. For like, let's say, if we want our APC be electable for the next 50, 20 decades, but now what I will do now will make APC be electable the next years to come, right? And the party is tolerant, right? We policies are social policies. So if you ask that question, it's going to be the decision where I take as a leader, that is send a message. This country is actually anchor of national cohesion. It's going to happen. Because I now see me friends and my brothers who grew up born at Kenya, they will Tongo, work together. I see people chasing the bush. They get caught behind there. That's not going to happen. Or neither do I know where I grew up like North or Flita. No. We are just a small talk of people, small, under 8 million. We get Nigeria with about hundreds of millions. We get other country there, but they are focused on development. Why are we chasing each other to kill each other? Because you in a Creole are pulling in our office, or in a team in a Napoli, or in a Medapoli. No, that's not help for the country. If you get experience, 15 days experience, then to 2 months experience, who's are we take? That common sense. I'm defining the country to grow. So this is what I'm going to do.
All right. Well, we talked that one day, and it's a breath of fresh air. We need some of them kind, statement there. So from people that we want for serve, regardless whether you're in or not. Like T-Boy stated, we have on this, at the studio today, Chief Alhaji Thonkla Bangura of the All People's Congress. He is an aspiring, politician. We want for serve for be president in Sierra Leone under the APC banner. He was one of the contestants for the 2018 out of the 28 people there. So it don't tell about good things. And some of those things will go back. The conversation will get for end today. We'll get a few more questions for him, but we just want to remind the latecomers then say we guest today now somebody we want for lead Sierra Leone. And remember, when I can tell you this group say for the vet we leaders them, so now the vetting process we don't start so. Femi, they record everything here. 6 months down the line, if you begin changing rate, they can play. We see how can start with advert. They plan also Chief Thonkla Bangura say we get them on record. So we are vetting, and yourself wait in at the chat. Please make sure say you research them as well. If you have questions, through them to them. Somebody asked in the chat group, say, for whatever reason, because you say you're a man of God, you believe, say, power and God na in the gi, that if you not succeed, let me say, Juma, ask him if he wouldn't mind joining hand with others now to form better, peaceful, successful APC in 2023 than every one of them in APC wanting to become president. Meaning, say, for cut the chase, if you think, say, they are better candidates or people that wanna can work together, if you not succeed, kind of, would you?
Well, I don't know the yardstick what I'm supposed to use for measure better candidates or leading candidates. Maybe say better candidates. Now God and I know that better candidates. The kind when they say this is a leading candidate, now God and I know that I lead candidates. And now God and I know the leader we don't ordain for change that country. Right. So if that person asks if we make alliances, we are all People's Congress. We are all the same party. But we contest one position because that position is lucrative. We are going for it and work together peacefully. Anybody, I talk very clear now, I said it 2017, anybody with the party, to me, I support them. I didn't even offer me manifesto to them. If you like a work I did do one. And I expect the same from them. If I give me, put me, support me, could win the next elections. And that's what I will do because power and I believe in God. So time with this, or lie, I can fly go up and count down they give me. If not in time again, I'll wait for other opportunity. But we are going to fight on. I'm going to
So, thank you. Tell me, Tibo, I don't say they each, but I ask, how, I want to know. You get for take Tibo for long ago campaign, Kenema specifically, because how that they go, Kenema or that part of the Sierra Leone is SLPP stronghold.
Well, that's why
you born there. How you and T-Boy go campaign yonder for you?
Not only T-Boy, but the whole lot of K school boys that will join me as well.
Oh my goodness!
so SMU, you ready?
I like that.
That's why exactly. So that's why I told them. I say when they give me na Kenya the first me SMU at the cut and vote day. So that day first at the weekend them. Not only Kenya, Tongo, Segbema, Kailaung. Listen, across that territory.
Yeah, the reason I mention Kenema specifically because every other side go swing, but Kenema ever, except if you get green.
Yes, Kenema, I will cause serious upset. They got in power.
How?
How? Because even today, I talk to people like Kenema. If they see me name at the poster saying me or like me, buy invest Kenema seriously. There are people who have to pay back. They see me name like ticket. SF is in trouble. I'm telling you.
T-Boy, you endorse that statement there?
Well, so to a large extent, I will endorse it.
Okay.
Thank you.
One reason why.
I want for you because you know I'm growing up, yeah? And if they say we get for vet people, if you cannot attest for him,
yes,
then I would tell other Sierra Leoneans and so on, not listen to her because T-Boy, when I'm a right-hand person, not believing somebody that will go school together. Go ahead, T-Boy.
Well, let me tell you why I go tell you say yes, I go endorse 99% of voting Thonkla don't say.
Thank you.
I don't only just Sabian Akenema, I grew up with them. I don't just grow up with them. We play street ball together.
Exactly.
So, not a strange man to me. And what is Asabi I'm for is always cool. Sit down a veranda. If we're not going for the ball, he goes sit down. They're doing your own stuff. He always gets family around them. So that is him. That's the man I know. And if I tell you, say, yes, if he gets the ticket for run for APC presidential candidates come 2023, Kenema will be shaking. Because take Thonkla aside, but like he don't make mention of him, Papa. Papa being one of the most challenging footballing team inside the eastern province of Sierra Leone. Not just Kenema, because Thonkla Warriors was not just the Thonkla Warriors. It creates lots of opportunities for young boys back in the days. And where would they make mention of salary scale? Thonkla Warriors came and changed the dynamics of football in Kenema, in the eastern province.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to make Thonkla talk about that one because they go tell like for say, you blow yourself your own, and you definitely know what. But also campaign for a move. So
yeah, but it's not a problem if you want to campaign for him. Why not? By all means, do that. You got for left the politics of hypocrisy. If you believe in somebody,
tickets, I will campaign for him because I believe what he stands for. But as of now, I'm not a campaign for nobody, but I will say the truth where it lies. And the truth of the matter is, with the endorsement of Papa and the family trend, and what Papa don't do in terms of investment in the eastern province of Sierra Leone, it is not a payback time, but it is an actual fact of manifestation of what anybody don't do. Imagine he was doing it not in the favor of politics. He was not a politician. He has no dealing to do with politics. So this is how much I know him.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
not to say I just say this because of Thonkla or Asabi and no. Or because me and you go the same school and the best school in the east. No. In fact, someone say I know him from childhood days.
Right.
Childhood days, we play around, we run around, we do stuff. And when I say I see a name for run for the 2018 ticket or so, I was like, no, not possible. Also, I said no, not possible because I know we decided like somebody will get interest in politics anyway. Because he never showed that interest to me for they can say, okay, you are into politics. Now, when I get a second review of what me or mother tell me, say, but when you forget Thonkla, those days, even when we go to school, because they were literally the ones arguing in terms of what we forget as benefits in school.
Absolutely.
So basically, it's not a new thing to me for make us see what they do. So it just surprised me and say, I'm not being a facing at the political type. But again, in Sierra Leone, if you want to make certain change, there's a possibility like you get for going to politics.
True. Yeah. So thank you so much, T-Boy, for giving us a background. So I'll just say people then go know. It's just like if I want for go be mayor now, then Femi saying if I want for go be mayor, I go step down for Femi, because I know for say, if him be mayor, we can still able for channel with ideas then for let improve Freetown Pass Usai. Even Akisoya go left farm at some point. So, I'll make that endorsement. I make us say, we get for left this hypocrisy. If you believe in somebody, regardless of what you are, throw your weight behind them. Because if we are crying for good leaders and you have the people that we believe in say can make a change, but you shy away from them, then you are not helping yourself, you're not helping the country. Me say if you support I get for win, but if you believe in them, make sure you make a case for them. Mr. Thonkla,
yes,
right. One other question that I keep on for you.
Before you go to that question,
yes,
just don't make mention of Femi if you be the next mayor.
I say if you want for say me get interest. Yeah, then if you have show interest.
Well, let me bring Femi into the conversation now that you don't listen. A lot of what's going to happen within the back scene. I think it's about time now for him for make it say something on what's in because. Yeah. You never know.
That's true.
So over to you, Femi.
Femi, you get interest for being mayor? Plan if I step down.
Ask that question, though. You see your problem.
I mean, introduction question, sir.
No. I'm not sure you go ask her whether I get interest for being mayor. Me knowing Femi, he go talk say Juma, so bad self. Over to you, Femi.
Like problem, Juma.
I didn't tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know who's swamp on.
Oh, Mr. Protocol.
You're muted, sir.
Oh my.
All right, we have to wait for Mr. Palmer for joining.
I don't know who's swamp on. I will get problem.
Tibo
ain't get problem for sure.
Not true. Yeah.
But Juma himself don't carry with you.
All right.
I've been enjoy the program so before Juma come. Then they can't talk about me for be mayor or Iwan can be mayor. If me go stand down for her or you go stand down for me. Me man. Me people like always tell me say make I left politics first. So I left and give you. But you get tough time. With me right now, it
no, they do it. No, not for campaign. If the mayor say no,
I just say remind you no more.
Yes.
But yeah, so for me, I don't listen attentively.
Yes,
we get a lot of politicians we don't be around for a while. So when we see fresh faces and they come up, it's nice to hear, for see them and for hear new visions. So I don't like beaucoup of what I so, but I'll go like for ask a few questions them.
Yes,
you're a man we don't in the diaspora for long.
Yeah.
Me na diaspora na day. If you get the opportunity and the blessing from God for be the future leader, what you go put in place for we? You go allow we forget the vote for votes na national election them. You go allow you go open the mouth for make we get jobs the way we deserve with some of we don't can train na this side of the world. But whenever we try forget them positioned in our salon, we get met with nothing but obstacles because they say, una not there, una not sabi the good. Will you open the door for diasporans them for help Mama Salon, as we can call them, develop? Those are my two questions then for now.
Thank you so much. Well, you really asked this is very important, and it did very close to my heart. I don't want to get opportunity for serve, then I close the door. That is very unfair. I'll go back to history. 2012, I wrote an article. I call them DVT. I call them Diaspora Voluntary Tax. I say I want more cost of system as a country, we would encourage diasporans to pay tax in our country. I say, why would we pay this tax here? We all get the card. If any government would, if they agree for Okutui, because I don't see country the way it happened. At the name of Eritrea, they pay tax back home for every country. So I want, if you pay tax, I don't say you get the proof say they pay tax or the check say they pay tax. When opportunity comes, you always say first for help. The government in the position say, okay, you can't help my country. You need help, you pay tax for build hospital, for make roads. Would always be open opportunity for some. But if you say, okay, if I get a chance for staff, if I open with doors for diaspora, them done 100% yes. I engaged some nurses and doctors last time and tell me, Thonkla, one can work for free. We don't pay we. But the only thing we need for get to the country, first thing is security, second thing mobility, the third housing. One can they house with a luxury, if I things to come for, one for train sister that would nurse and doctors them, for train them how to work now. Or the only thing we need security, we need mobility and housing. If then 3 and they don't worry about feeding because we get money, we come for holiday or once we do for holiday, would they help the brother itself will teach them. That is something that I will encourage to happen. Definitely. Somebody say, in go meet the Minister of Health. It shut them down. You know, agree for Allah men and go ask voluntarily for go help. She was shut down. He tell me this now. I catch for. I go for her bed. I meet her. She was so happy for engage me. That's now areas where I say open up, make we actually encourage because we get the opportunity for see the Western world how they operate. We get the expertise. We don't see the how institution they operate. So if we want to go for help, that's the blessing for the country. So if we as leaders don't open that door for now for WhatsApp, that is wrong. That is just wrong. If we get that platform for encourage we brought it to the diaspora, especially the one who need an health sector. For many can practice, the one who lawyers them, many go help brothers, the practice, etc. That's opposite now one of the key priorities we I feel say for try look at for diaspora and in terms of employment, yes, there are a lot of jobs there where diaspora and the best will serve because internationally they don't get exposure. They get exposure a lot of jobs in day. But oh yeah, that barrier. That's a barrier between the leader and the diasporas. That's a barrier between me as a leader to the people who get access to the country. So that barrier now force we can get rid of engage. Now how they engage from time to time go across the world, engage with diaspora brothers said and we'll take the offer. Somebody are going to invest. There are a lot of conditions where they put them off. They can't. If they're not bribe, they put them off. They talk about frustrations. Somebody they can't investors. Somebody can't investor from Norway. Or lie that investor is go for build hospital. They say if you don't give money and they say you know go bribe, you go back. This guy is telling me. They say they go for hospital. They say for bribe, and because they are not bribe, they turn back. He turn back with frustration. This is the opposite. He go Liberia, and then go build it. That is hard trending. If other question they count on me definitely because I've lived here for 20 years, so I don't see how this country operates. I don't know how what's the standard in quality and what you can do. So if that question ask me, it's faster for me. Of course, yes. The answer is yes. I encourage, not to encourage. I monitor that process there as well. When my visit will get the expertise where cost nothing and they pay now. When I go work without salary, when I go teach price without payment, of course I can do it. In terms of employment, definitely because we are all surrounded. We are lucky to come here. What does it mean if there's opportunity back home? You cannot serve the country. You are serving the country. So that question for me is very easy. Absolutely correct. I'll do it.
But if I come with a devil's advocate now, we would talk about the diaspora and they already decide for go salon and getting 3 mandates, then they 1 for make sure they can get free housing, 2 for make sure they can get transportation, and 3 security. You feel say the kind of work where they go do quote unquote, then they go for holiday, working holiday. You feel say they go for give you more time than the holiday when they go because if they do that and government give them facilities, then it don't cost down a massive chunk of their expenses when they go to Sierra Leone. So how you go able for measure the amount of work when they go volunteer for do when they go salon? Say for example, they go for 3 weeks. You go out for make sure say they do 2 weeks of work and then 1 week of holiday, or how we're not going for court then can delay because again, people can take advantage of the situation. That is true. Well, that's why we engage each other. We engage each other, then have it because then they go holiday. Now, this I get this from a team of not who engage me, saying that this they want for do. So if they say they want for working holiday, right? As well as just post after Ebola, a lot of people volunteer.
to try to go help because the health center was struggling, right? So then tell me, so if they come for working holiday, we then get each other because it's not fair ourselves to them. They come holiday, then they just spend time for work. They are not just working, but they are training as well. They train the brothers, they are training them how to do the work. So if then say, okay, out of 7 days a week, they are for about 3 days a week out of the holiday, so be it. No problem. Because at the end of the day, that expertise where they give for free, it costs we a lot of thousands of dollars if not $40 of time can train. Let's look at that. So now a win-win situation. Then they come for working holiday for free, teach and work for free. Then while Susan will give them what they need for free. So it's like we are helping them and they're helping us. So for me.
So the area where you not touch on the voting side, where Femi also asked.
Yeah, the voting side, that's for be either on referendum or national consultation. I cannot guarantee that because the voting is not going to be. Listen, I want to vote. I want to vote. I'm not going to vote. I want to vote here. But we have to go through the procedure, go through parliament. If a referendum, hold a referendum, and then those 100% will do it. But it has to go through parliament. It has to go through procedures. They must see if it's viable. Definitely, I'm up because I'm a diaspora. I have a vote for the country anywhere I did. Of course, if America they do it, why don't we do it? Right? They are the fan of democracy, so if we copy them, I don't think it's a bad idea. But again, let's follow the right procedure. Go to parliament. See if parliament endorses them. If they say pass, okay, let's hold a referendum. I will vote for it. Definitely.
Let Femi come in before I get a couple more comments on this one before. Go ahead, Femi.
Yes, so thank you, sir. The question where I've been say, yeah, I know say you get for go through parliament and the legal side of things. I know the dispute and it. But what I think happens is when people they reach now power, then can forget the promise system. The appetite's knocking the again. Because we get a few other leaders that we don't come out the diaspora. We've been expect as diasporans, we've been expect a little bit more, but honestly, some of us feel as if we've been let down.
Yeah, thank you. If you're looking back to the history of the country 60 years ago, some leaders that led us, we are not diasporans. So some of them also let us down. so I think that's very, very clear. And that is true. That is way through. But I think if maybe the next that have been the longest time in diaspora than any other leader. So I don't see the pains, I don't see the gains, I don't see the challenges where I think we only go through Naya. So if you, Femi, you say I can't serve the country diligently, you have fearless for cancer, or Naya, if I get an opportunity to anybody that's alone, I'll swear get up because yeah, it's learner. You don't say that for that you can't serve the country. I will get opportunity, right? So this is the way I say that's not alone. I know say you get brain. Or we need to get brain gain. So if you come on, you get your expertise, say you can serve, and just add up to what I get there. So I don't think it's a bad idea. We don't need to struggle for do this at all. I know say the promise them, but people and say yes, but count on me. Say I will try for deliver for diasporans. I will do it. Definitely, I will deliver for diasporans.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Thonkla. Anyway, before I go to my comments, I see somebody send a special message to Femina the group. He say, Insabi Femina Regenti come out. So, he say, Alpha. Thank you so much. He say, Sabiam, na Regenti.
Na Regent Road.
No, he say Regent.
He forgets the road.
They forget the road now. Anyone now. All na regents. Regents na regents. All cry do for bury.
Also regents na regents. So regents regents go there.
Regents Road Central 1 Juma.
Regents Road Central 1. Regents Road by Sakila Road Central 1. Because of regents road then be. All right. Mr. Thonkla, one thing obviously me go agree with this thing about the diaspora taxation thing because I believe say if you want rights, you get for under rights day. So you for put your money usa you must day. Yes, diasporans them so much remittances, but that's voluntary.
It's voluntary.
But there's no way for gauge you taxation to the country. But if you they contribute, say as a diasporan, now these are they contribute to the country, then you go able for say, okay, now these rights them you able for claim as a diasporan as well. Because you know they on a daily basis. So I agree with that, and that's something I'm really passionate about. We see how Eritrea during the war they have nothing.
Yep.
The diaspora and the contribution, now help them war, now help for rebuild the country and sustain it. And theirs was worse because it was mandatory. If you not pay your tax, your family back home suffers as well. But whereas this one, you know, you have opportunities to pay. So then after that, you can able for begin claim, say, as diasporans, we for begin for say one for votes now the diaspora. It's not for me, in as much as I'm anyway, I don't say Femi will disagree, but I wish you know we want to make consider about 3. But go ahead quickly, Femi, then I'll ask the start of the question. Go ahead.
Okay, Juma, I hear you guys say we get for contributes. Yeah. But let's be honest. You want tell me say we not don't contribute? You make
what I'm saying, the contribution we are making is voluntary.
No, hold on. You make reference to Eritrea and what they do during the war. I believe say diasporans, Sierra Leone diaspora contributed immensely to the support of our nation through the war. Personally, me I be young man. I was in my early 20s when the war broke out. I just began work. And I supported my extended family with the little money them who have been making.
True.
And I know beaucoup people we do that through the 90s. You know,
agree.
For more biggie the kuskas with the audio platform was at 1990 till then 92, 93. Things then become worse. Our people started leaving Sierra Leone to go to Guinea, to go to Ghana. My parents were then in Ghana. My parents lodged a lot of Sierra Leoneans, so we go through Ghana at the time. We've been getting immediate family, we've been stuck in Guinea. I personally was sending money to Guinea. That was hard because I know been sabi talk the language. You know, I not been sabi even how for begin send money go to them place and so I believe say the diasporans them we don't earn we stripes them over the years.
1,000% correct. However, the difference here is that contribution, your remittances is voluntary. Okay? Whereas this what they talk about is your contribution to the government for guarantee you certain right. Because take example, as a United States citizen, wherever you did at the world, wherever you did, you're supposed to do your tax return every year. Because if not, there are certain things then where you lost them privileges then or if you go for them, you're not able to forget them. So now then kind of thing then so if we do it doesn't have to be much. It could be $10, $20, £20 a year. Yes. But £20 times 200,000 diasporans, you know, that's a lot of resources to the country. Yes. You know, then we'll be able for begin fets now, say we want for votes now the diaspora. Because a lot of people then are the diaspora, but there is no allegiance to Sierra Leone.
No.
You know, but at least with that card, you go able for say, yes, I they contribute. Now me write this, I able for get passport based on this card and this, that. But I just supported this policy. It's a personal, you know, view.
And sorry, Juma. Make I just give a picture of that tax day.
Yeah.
That money will pay as tax, will create a trust fund of our team. Then if we let's say this year, one bill a hospital na Kedema on a corner. That money we now for votes say now one money go because for avoid corruption.
Yeah.
Now the votes now say money now one much better. If now road construction from Masheka to Kailan, we could see the cost, we hire the engineers, we pay them from here, they go to the work. Government just get the road and get that for just say now this one do. They wanna help people do it. The money go be managed not by government of Sierra Leone, but by trustees based in the UK or America or across the world. Now they manage the money. Now that's what I wrote. The government of Sierra Leone has little. They're not even the trustee. They get a 5 billion power. They get a 5 billion power for managing money. Now what did I recommend say? One make roads, one make water wells, one make schools, one make health centers across communities. From this money we will put. We put at the vote. They endorse them. We go do them because this it go pull away corruption. Say if we learn at government and they go eat them. Include me on government. Now not give me and as long as would have built houses for me, people can get access to medical for dialysis, everything. Don't give me the money. Go and build hospitals. Go and build schools. This was the idea I wrote 2020. I was not even intending to be.
Right. So let's go back to Femi because he's passionate about this diaspora thing here. So because if you say diasporans, they get within
their fair share. Which is
over to you, Femi.
Okay, so I think that Weti Una they say it's laudable. It's a great scheme, but again, Juma, you want compare Salon and America?
No, I'm not comparing. I just made an example.
Hold on. In America, we have a fully fledged system where they take care of people who are unemployed. Where they give, although then gets their own rikishi, but free medical. But worst case then go treat you. We get a lot of things them with in place. You get certain people who they go school for next to nothing or for nothing. In England we get similar schemes them. In Sierra Leone, diaspora take the pressure off the government for at least the last 30 to 40 years. We took the pressure off the government. We sent money for people that we need hospital. We send money for burying. We send money for married. We send money for all kinds of things. We supported the government where the government lacked. And what I try for says it's about time so we recognize people them we don't give. They say we do because we chose to give. Yes, but there's no better gift. There's no better gift than to give openly, willingly, with nothing attached. Now, all we they ask for, now forget the opportunity for make then sacrifices then they will don't make we self get a say on how we choose we leaders.
True.
Because we think it is important. And yes, we are investing in Sierra Leone. We might not physically go give government money, but we they take the pressure off them for make them able the small money where then they get, make them able use that for do other thing them. So I think we should be recognized for the effort they make. Many people are not begin to talk say, "Oh, na family they no more the app." I disagree. More school fee they are pay. We're not to.
No, we're not saying that just family.
We pay directly. We're not to fumble them. We are pay via me family them. And now left about me. How many people them mama then they call and say, even Chief Wesidon so he talk say then call and say somebody they will need your help. He knows I be the person, but he lent his hand. That's what I'm saying. There's thousands of us that do that on a regular basis. I'm not saying that we're better than the people in Sierra Leone. I they say we forget equal share on how we country to move forward. And sometimes we go able for influence the decision making in Sierra Leone. And another thing say a tax is what we need to do to bring that on.
Right. But well, a good one, and aspiring Black Bear as president, you don't hear. And this is the beauty about CRJ Media. We know the conquer and support now, so we have our divergent views.
I'm so happy it's pushing us. That's right. It's right to say.
And sadly, we had people, that came from K school, that are diasporans, maybe they say if they start before we go endorse them, and then from where they go, they lock the door. I'm disappointed in case. Say now, una not show me one possible trader advocate. Una get boku go case school where they serve the government today. T-boy, I am disappointed because T-boy tell me about them people. I say these people na case school people.
That's why.
Yeah, they are better off than both school boys. They will do better. But stay today.
No, what I'll do, I'm gonna compensate for the mistake when they don't make.
Okay, all right. So let's. I have two questions for you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me start with the first one. The government. Why do you think you'll make a better president than President Madabio? Because he's the incumbent. Let's say you win tomorrow, you want to go you're going to contest against it. He's been there before, he's there now. What is he doing that you'll do differently for make a better Sierra Leone?
What the first one I do, I will bring the country together. Now that's the for do. That's the first key. I bring the country together. Then I reinstate confidence. Then I consult. Then I make sure say I work with my international partners amicably, including Guinea and Liberia. I'll make sure the Guinea no go lock border Pawi without any global crisis. I'll make sure say I call them the Tri-Nation Partnership. Tri-Nation Partnership go to place Man River Union, where it will focus on environment, defense, and employment opportunities. I call it NED, right? Because we get huge potential now this sub-region where we want to make use of. We are not using our potentials. And also we'll get the bilateral, we'll get the free border crossing. It's not all about it. It's about aiming for more, being more ambitious, right? Even the marine resources that we have, that's a chunk millions of dollars. But one thing we're missing is standard and working together. If we, because we are suffering to piracy, if we get security patrol between the three nations, I call it Tri-Nation and the Pull Man River Union because I'm fed up with that name, the Man River Union. More pull and look out to Tri-Nation Partnership, right? Where would we work if we get, like, say, we try to buy a patrol boat, like 3 or 4, if it costs me $12 million, we share the burden with the 3 countries. Then again, we share the profits because we make, we'll make a command and control where Guinea, Liberia, officer go there, Salon go there, then they monitor with territorial waters, right? So for no say we don't secure, then we'll get to fish harbor where we harvest all the marine resources.
Who's that now? Black Johnson?
No, don't say that. I didn't. In fact,
I see Femi one box the TV right now. Femi grab, he say what? Fish harbor.
No, Black Johnson. Listen, I tell T-Boy that Black Johnson contract at the revoked. No, okay. But I don't do I'm viciously because China now one of the key partners. I didn't get to say when I choose other side because that area now they fish the breed. Right. It's environmentally, it's not for me. It's no go area. We got a lot of areas the way they would do their fishing and stuff. No more don't see that harbor. That harbor they or go through. Listen, that contract the council. In fact, it's not a contract because you don't go through parliament. Right? They fail to follow procedures. So if they fail to follow procedures, there's no contract. I will tell them straight Chinese, if I want to be to them and they follow procedures, if we're not sure to follow procedures, when I don't bring the term of the contract. So therefore, it has to be revoked. When I choose any other side where I feel say environmentally acceptable, it not will cause any problem to ecosystem or biodiversity species. When I choose other side, work together, you now make one carry on. And I will tell them on a list. And I'll tell them say employment will be we first priority. We will go control first priority. And also better come to that expertise demo, but we will be first priority for employee because that's about employment we do all there. But that Black Johnson there, no. For me, it's not go area. Now either way, in fact, I don't say why I advocate for that. I don't advocate a lot for that. Say that area they no. It's not a viable place for do that kind of project. It's not good at all. But we'll get a lot of streams, even like a place like Bont. Bont, if you go, they say they beat oysters, they hang, now stick them, they hang. They are wasting. These are things when they're expensive they are. If we no more work with entry country there, listen, with the create employment easy. Guinea, Sierra Leone, Liberia, they enjoy. We look at seaweed. A lot of time we see seaweed in the kind of beach. We don't say they come out. But if we get a patrol boat with the monitor with territorial waters, this all goes stop. That is also strengthened with security. Now the three borders, right? Because they're too free. And even I don't know if you don't go na the border between Guinea and Sierra Leone. I mean that area need investment. It needs serious investment. It looks so dilapidated. It needs serious investment. And Guinea and Liberia work together. We can do them together because if we don't get enough money, but Guinea gets, we share the body together, then the profit. Now, so for us as partners, because the world is a global world now, we can't work in isolation. We cannot grow in isolation. We have to work together, right? And I'm happy what happened in East Africa. Now, Rwanda, Kenya, they get trains the way they travel one country to the other. So why don't we have trains in West Africa? Trains where Guinea, for what Guinea, don't talk about a train, probably 1 hour, they Conakry. They come back. Now, so it improve trade. Now, so the goods and services, because if I go buy goods at Guinea, when I can't make money quick, I'll go back. Now, so to do. That the Guinea, they can't alone because most of Guinea rest there. Now, so they come back. They go to. You see, so if they want to rest, also want the goods then. Now, so for improved trade, but the trade between the two countries, it just stay within people, not between government to government, right. And that will try for size. So that's why I name it to Tri-Nation Partnership. If Ivory Coast one join, we still encourage them and come, many be part of the partnership. Not a problem.
Okay, so that's where you do different from within.
Yes. Yeah, then what you do? I know, I'm not finished. Okay, then what I have to do? I need this is that the.
You know, like pull all the secret that about just tell me.
This I think this issue about tribalism, where the policy has been tribalized. This policy of identity. I try for dampen and for stop because me no sabi as alone. I don't know him. I attended school. My neighbors, my neighbor, fuller. They all. In fact, my best friends were fullers. I mean, this best friends academy. Then jalo them, then bad them. They're my best friends. People sabi there now. Neighbors there. We eat together. At this time, they catch us back. That's what we day. Now they sleep together. How we work up together. This I grew up. Some of them na Belgium, Germany. So in there, they are crying. They are my best friend, my schoolmates. We see. I think when they see why they laugh. They don't say. They just laugh. They know me say this was Thonkla. So that's how I grew up. If I studied government policy at school, so now I do. So don't find it like it's a new era for me. No, it's not a new era. So that's how for the state. That public confidence. Say this country, this government, can't split this country. We work together. And that's how for see that alone. And that's what we do. That's my first key assignment. And why for try to bring national cohesion together. Then I feel say that if I do that, now so try to get a platform for move forward as a country.
Okay. I'll Femi come in. Go ahead. For the first time, I see Femi. They ask. They want to ask. Tiboy King for the prompt. I say Femi, I can't talk for keep you good ideas. But for the first time, they come must know. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Femi.
Yeah, thank you, Juma. Yeah, so again, you talk about development. Now, some area then we not get. You talk about the Guinea Salon border. We think say that area they need serious development.
Yeah.
So then just now you talk about tribalism. So my question to you is, make a statement first. Our constitution states that as a Creole man, I'm not go able for invest in provision land. Yeah, land in the provinces. My question is, if you can have power, you go change Dandy, and the reason why they ask now because some of we might get, money we see don't know they do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can't use them money then they for better salon, we can buy hostel in England, America, and wherever else. Why would they exclude a certain percentage of our population, global population, where sometimes gets the earning power or gets the spare cash? Why would not they encourage them for actually invest in areas where we think say development is needed? Because if I can go and buy a property in the provinces and then chief say after a while I'm not happy with Femi and get Femi come on at the area and I lost me money, I would never go back. My brother go read the story what happened to Femi, himself not go invest. My sister will do the same. Don't you think our laws them don't set in God knows when are a bit too ancient now for make we actually put them here so to parliament and change the laws and they? I don't think that there is appetite in Sierra Leone for that, and I don't understand why that is the case in this day and age. Would they preach collectiveness? The George Floyd thing happened, the whole world grab and say, we stand against racism. But yet, as a Creole man or Creole people, we're treated as second-class citizens in that country. We born, we parents and born, we grandparents and born. I get more rights in the UK than I get in Sierra Leone, and I still only own a Sierra Leonean passport.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, this is new to me. Well, not too obvious. Sorry. Now, back example. Now, Losa Barampa Road. Anyone can prove me wrong or right? It's there. One Creopa, he get what they buy and then I get some, and that was nice to get some. And I don't see any law where discriminate any ethnic group in Sierra Leone. That law should be quashed. And definitely because right. If me get right for buy land, me come on and not get right for buy land at Freetown. So why don't the Creole get right for buy land at Kailan or Songo or Kono? That's not right, because there's no other tribe that Sierra Leone and ban say no buy land in any part of Sierra Leone. So that law is archaic, it's too colonial, it's too ancient, as they mentioned. It's not right, it's not fair. Not because it's there. Any person, even other tribe, then ban say no buy land when a national of Sierra Leone buy land in any part of Sierra Leone. That is wrong, and for challenge them, and definitely that something has to be revoked. That's why I told you earlier that Sierra Leone Constitution has overdue for reform, because it don't mirror, some parts of it don't mirror the demands of this century. So therefore, we're going to get a constitution way fit for purpose, way mirror the demands of this century. That I said is overdue for reform, and we have to reform it. And I will do it on a main range. I got it.
Thonkla, for response to that question, the way you answered, so it just jiggled my memory about Connor as well, because one thing and the way people they really take into consideration. If you don't Connor, you need to own physically own land na Connor.
Well, that is wrong. That's equally wrong.
And because why make I say so? When I look at them very deeply, you dey build a house na Connor, but at least you dey even the Connor man can't say that gone in and me gone, so you dey build them for some time, because then they get access for dig and back again. Because I don't ever see any kind of issue where something will bring come around, and but I think I need to do a little bit more investigation. But I can sense that, and I think growing up as a child and looking at the dynamics of Kono, I have never seen an individual that is not an indigenous in Kono.
Their own land.
Own land. That is equally wrong.
Right. So you're right. And again, this come back to how do you expect the country to expand, opportunities for expand, people learn for reintegrate and cohabit if you are, partitioning the country into this for Onia and then. So if people wanted to know why I be one for be mayor of Freetown, that's one of the reasons. But challenge, say the Freetown is for Freetonians. No. Freetown is for Freetonians, not for Creole, it's for Freetonians. And I'm a Freetonian. I don't get upline place. I'm a Freetonian and a Freetown born and men. So definitely, then kind Lord and they cake for we country, good for we. Intermarriages then don't take place. People who want to move other parts. Yes, possibly 60 years ago, it was not the same. But Sierra Leone don't move on. Sierra Leone don't change. Just like how if person can come buy land in UK or US, why you not for able for buy land na other partner Freetown if not you want for go you desire for go stay and for live you want for go into farming. We have a lot of Creoles that went to the provinces, help as teachers, as pharmacists, nurses, engineers, and so on and so forth. They build them build relationships that them place them there, but then you limit them because of a law. Say they not for go upline and go live there. What if not they want for live? How did they want for live? So give the person the opportunity. Let choose say no one for day. That's different from saying no. This law says so. Yeah, go ahead, T-boy.
I still challenge that, Lodi, because
it is there, T-boy.
Okay, well,
you can say the law the land law is very confusing. Okay, it is say. The land belongs to the community, na customary kind law. So you need to come out and say you can the land belongs to the community. So even if you below stay, waiting for me explain. So the chief gets so much power that if the chief not satisfied you to then pass law, then they pull you come out to them. They say no today, born not today, men.
Okay, let me give you an example. This is a living example, not so far away, now under my foot. Me, mama, in big sister married to a staunch Korean marina the Yaski them, and the elders of the Yaski spend all of in lifetime na Mamolo in the northern part of Sierra Leone. And it not just spend in life na Mamolo, it build us
building house does not mean you own the land. There's a difference. You don't have a title deed.
No, there is a title deed because in Peking, in area property as in papa and land in oath.
You go be to a mama side, not to a papa side. Go ahead. And the reason I can say that because the southeast, for example, if you born, for example, at the Mende line, if your mama na Mende, you get more rights there because of your mama, because they're a matriarchal kind of thing. Yeah. you know, so you get more rights there. So you're not able to distinguish. But Papa side, very difficult. Go ahead, Femi.
Yes, so T-Boy, you know, I think say as in Sierra Leone, all things they happen. You know, if you want make it happen, if you get money, you get power, it happen. What I said is the law of Sierra Leone clearly states that. Yeah. So I'm not saying I grab, I go bill, I go do this, I go do that. The law of Sierra Leone actually say I can go tap upline at the chief in permission. So I am under the chief's welcome.
Protection.
As I say, if me and the chief get disagreements for any reason or another, I lose my investment. So let's assume say now I've invested, let's say I win the lottery and I've invested £1 million in property or $1 million in a property in Pujeon. And me and the chief no see eye to eye on something, and he take in land back and kick me out of Pujeon. I have lost my investment.
True.
Because I not get non-legal thing for stand on for go argue me case. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Creoman they not get host the upline. Yeah? Because as you know, the country, things happen. But the land laws them were set a long time ago, and their laws and they don't make sense right now. And that's what I'm trying to say. We need for address that day, but for some strange reason, we parliamentarians them seem to be very, very reluctant for even visit the idea then they, but always some Creole groups and they actually go meet them and say, guys, and they'll not forget safe. Recently, this current administration go and target Creole property them and lands them in Freetown. In USA, we get the right for buy, we won't land them. They land there so they no can try for pull them now we hand. But then we're not allowed for go buy land upland. So USA we for go. You know, there's serious questions that we need to ask. But everybody seems to be afraid to tackle these topics.
You don't see, so I should say your aspiration for become president of Sierra Leone is not easy peasy like possibly you think. So today we'll give an opportunity for go lead on, you sleep, you think a lot. So and also they try for come round up soon. We talk about something, Naya, and we say we have to vet the people, okay? You mentioned that you've been in diaspora for 20 years. And the reason I ask on behalf of Femi, that we've had people who've spent 22 years, okay, outside the diaspora, you know, and not become president today. And look at where we are. Femi can ask me why. So we want to know, you don't study, you just the loaf na UK, what you're a lawyer, what are you doing? I just want to know. You don't have to have the, at least to show, you know, that which you they talk so, not to, you know, read no more study for can't tell me. So we want to know about you as a person. Then I get one last question for you, then I hand over to T-Boy because I need to round up the interview.
Before I can question, Mag go quick to Femi. Femi, I see emotion behind the question.
Yeah.
And that's a very important question with this. And I know I'm as a politician. This is the rationale I say we have to revisit our constitution and review it and try to make it fit for purpose. Because there's no way, even part of the constitution, section 25 or 27 say, any community in the country where they discriminate against, that is utterly unfair and it is unacceptable to the constitution. It's a front at any form of discrimination. This is discrimination, clear. Now it's just a clear discrimination because the Creoles, they are part of the ethnic group of Sierra Leone. So there's no way where they should be targeted, say they don't get that for own land beyond Freetown. That is not right. That's just not, that goes in against the very constitution we give that landlord the right to do so. That is wrong. And this is part of the reforms because one know. Because about any law, that intention, what's the intention of those drafts that we don't draft constitution? What's the intention say create money for own land beyond Freetown? Or that is wrong. So we have to know why. Then we'll try to address that because at the end of the day, the Creoles they've contributed immensely to that country, and they are part of indigenous people in our country. So there's no way will treat one ethnic group different to the other. That's all right. So that area will go visit and we'll try for the because one thing why they advocate for the national cohesion, and national cohesion applies everywhere. If the Creoles are not happy, there's no national cohesion.
True.
So it's part of that jigsaw puzzle. So let him be rest assured and make it take it to tax. If I feel for deliver when I take over, right? So that issue we'll visit and resolve. And I'll tell her, say, we don't go chase Creole man and say, we now go na land there. This they land them. They don't get it for ages ago. First Sunday, they don't even get a paper, but they don't there's a clear, extensive ownership when they get a party in there. So they have to be left alone, right? So it's part of our national cohesion campaign where because the country is badly divided. We should not be shy to say that. It is badly divided, and because it is badly divided, we are not growing. And one growth as a country, right? So you ask me, say, okay, I'm not naming names, say, one man, we don't need 1 or 20 years that I saw that.
Well, we present President Manabi.
I don't know if you count the years that Ghana, he was in Ghana as well.
No,
so
well,
I know, so you don't quantify that. So me consistently, I've been in the UK.
Okay.
Right? So I know go salon with it. I'll be here consistently. So, and besides, UK will say I'm their product. So they will give me the required support for make a particular country, definitely. And what team men will agree, I will try to deliver for the country because I now can say, okay, I can't do this, they will go do different things. No. Sierra Leone is going to be changed under my reign. It will change and it will change for the better because I know what is required for more to change that country today. Don't count on my age. Don't count on anything. Just look at me and see, say, definitely, just look people around me and will tell you, say, me, I deliver when I promise. And before I enter law school, I tell myself, I say, the next 10 years, I will be a different person. You know, I'm going to deliver. So I changed myself completely. The 10 years gap from that time to that time, I was a changed person completely, and I did happen. I tell myself, for this year to that year back, I will be a different person, and I'm working towards it. So this is how this account of success. This is me, and I guarantee you, if me, one thing we will not talk about tonight, so it's very important, very close to me, that is free school meal. If I don't give a free school meal or my first time, my government is a failed government because there's no way me go in and me bed and do it. I see the picking there, they go to school hungry, they can't come from school hungry. They don't go learn. It's part of the education project. Education is just about going to school learn, but make sure the picking get the nutrition and get the required meal where the balance and diet. They're ready for learn because I am a beneficiary of condor. I eat condor at school. I know that condor make me get a better nutrition for going to school. You see, they serve condor. I eat time. I eat bulgur, even though they probably do it for me. But I eat it at school because they want to know less discrimination. They take everybody equal. Now that's same. They don't care. And I will tell you back waiting. People don't talk. The daddy was to all the person that came in, all the person. This is my way. They cook Saturday and Sunday for everyone. Remember, can eat. Poor rich. It was the only person that came in where they cook Saturday and Sunday. All money can eat. So it don't show me that generosity and the craft blend together. Generosity it goes a long way. So this is why I feel say for freedom picking at school is very, very important. So me and the current president Bio, we are far apart. Me, I'm incredibly tolerant. And national interest is part of my card. It's very important to me. And I know, say, if me take your route, I know will succeed as a leader. But if I take that different route, I don't look at the card because the picture say, if I take this route, looking at how Tony Black changed this country, and that's my own dream vision for say, Sierra Leone will deserve better. And that is going to happen. That's what I promised myself. And I've taken a covenant privately to God. I pray midnight, ask him, say, this, if I fail to do this, make I not succeed. I don't think I've taken the covenant. Say, if not so policy make me a self community, then take me somewhere else that I do. If I don't know, I have the expertise for go pass it on as alone. Or do any other thing. I also have a business degree. I can do other things. So if lots of policy make me serve communities, that's why I told you I'm going to end up in agriculture. I make farm and feed people for help people. You see, because whether out of politics, I'm going to farming.
So if you say under your regime, if you're fortunate, Sierra Leone will be, food self-sufficient.
Well, that's what I got a project where I'm not going to disclose it now. I got a project where Israel implement them somewhere in the world.
Okay.
That project is my answer for food sufficiency.
Okay, cool.
That project is a game changer.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that. We get, you see, you don't begin get fans them already. Now the chat group, but somebody, Animal Thompson say he go like for attend you meeting at the UK. Any of you, town hall meetings that we will get for host. He say we'll let for attend.
God bless her.
And obviously in question, the thing is, now the same thing if I'm passionate about the buying land upline, now who am the answer we give. So you have to answer more questions on that. All right, my last question for today's interview, then I hand over to Tibo is this.
Yes, sir.
You're running under the APC. We don't hear a lot. People are saying APC SLPP na den don puel Sierra Leone.
What do you say?
I reserve my opinion for now. Yeah, So then say APC SLPP na den don puel Sierra Leone. You where they run under the APC ticket, why do you think Sierra Leone go be better off under an APC government? Why?
Thank you. Another thing again, let's don't just push the blame card, but also look at the trajectory of development. A lot of infrastructure as we did it, were built by APC. Let's acknowledge the fact. And the way I don't see APC don't position at the moment, I don't see like a history where the party don't do. I've been on telling myself say, President Kuruma a record, President Sheikh Steve a record, and they put it together, I have for climax them. I have to do much better than what they deliver. And if we look at leaders who in the country, these two leaders, they don't do well for the country. They did. Because I go to Sierra Leone 2010. I met our airport, the state, I wept. The Motkau car took from Lunga Airport to Ferry Junction, Napan they put inside. They began to cry. I took their first time to salute. They cried. They cried. They wept. I said, why we go out there? The airport to that. You see, then when I went again, 2012, it was a different airport. See, now so the count success. Looking at the roads, because you see, for make a country not to one leader, that continuation. The Kaaba was not the Kaaba, our holiest box in the world, was not built by one prophet. It was built by two prophets. One lay the foundation, the one can finish it. Not so. That's how we build a country. We say President Bill will stop. Bill will take him to a level where it's unprecedented. Because not only me, I have a team in the UK where they're ready for support me and work with me. Some are English, some are blacks. Right? They told me the only condition would give you, make your name be on the ticket. You left the rest for us. And again, idea way I know this I will tell her now because it's part of my climate change drive. There are green cities where they don't build to nobody country. I know the name out because everyone goes by green cities. And that's how for introduce. Where we go for use solar panel and wind turbines for power the country. That's now one of the areas I feel for to address with greenhouse with climate change challenges. So I get that person there. I don't engage them. We get investor where they invest in green cities. And that's what and Kenema is one of the beneficiaries.
So charity begins at home.
Absolutely.
Right.
So
this Chief Minister saying now we tempt the Kenema
No. Chief Minister is certificate for security. For me, I will share it.
Okay.
I will share it.
Right. Well, thank you so much for that. Appreciate talking to you, and we hope so we'll get you back as an individual or because there are so many issues that we highlight today. We will let for you day on a panel discussion with other people. More so on this diaspora issue with Femi Brinkham. We'll be having a conversation not too long with professionals and academics, but I would like you to be part of that and subsequent individual programs. I'll hand you over to T-Boy for a wrap up with you since time starts, and we go say thank you to we all. I will take the back seat and continue for observe.
Thank you too, sir. I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
Let's listen to us if anyone say I see enough begin. Over to you, Femi.
I just check see they come for me for make a round up as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me rounding up this.
You want for round up now? Then that's fine.
So you give me instructions.
No, you take it on. Come with the question that you can wrap up afterwards.
Okay, so so our there's a few questions then we did on Facebook and YouTube. I should say you be not address some of them before, but some people and they ask which are your profession. I think say they want to something and join relate. I think say the question came where we talk about some man we don't spend 22 years na the diaspora, where some of we know say there wasn't a profession in then 22 years then day. So I think say people who are known now as we try for vets with people that we want give power.
So you say na be man that host them.
Which no, so people and they ask. I think say this it come from YouTube where somebody they ask say which na your profession. Then somebody else ask about which thing go be you I think say you gender representation, which I think you touched on right at the beginning. So I don't know if T-Boy will the close it go say some of them also, or if you go able for tell we. But then Abiwan just address me own lovely person. We literally came out Kunku say, he says something, say the Creoles them were just as bad. I'm not here to defend the Creoles. As I say, I was putting my statement out because I believe say the constitution in Sierra Leone is wrong, it's archaic and it needs to change. Yes, Kunku, sometimes we get bad people then from all tribes. We get people that we discriminate from all tribes. So I feel your pain. I understand, say yes, one Creole mommy been there when you been a grow up. We say certain things until but equally I can say the same thing. Fula man, Timini man, Minde man, Creole man self don't tell me thing that we are not like. So we can't hold a whole nation or whole tribe responsible because one or two people them we not the bad apples. So and back in when we were kids, yes, people said a lot of things. But this day and age that we're in, it's a different thing. As Juma say, we don't intermarry. We get picking them, we come out na all tribe. I think say somebody say a few weeks ago na the same platform say we not really get tribe na Salon again because we all blood don't mix so much that something that we name them no more and they associate to certain tribes. But if you look deep down inside, you go fancy we get all kind of blood inside we. Anyway, so apart from that, my rounding up is to thank you guys for joining us every week. First of all, make a thank the guests. We guests don't, I don't put them under a bit of pressure today. But as Juma say, for hopefully we go home, go sleep within a lily corner, he remember. So sometimes, if God bless them with what they look for, they go remember some of the things that we ask today and some of the promises that we make. But until Juma say we record them. So if you not deliver, we go come back, we go sit down back, and we go talk. Say some man and can't promise you, and because say politicians always they promise. So we go remind them. But yeah, so I'd like to thank him for taking out his time to come to be with us, to speak to us and to speak to our audience. And for we audience, both on Facebook and YouTube, we love you guys. We would not be here without Una. So please keep coming. Please spread the word. Please like our page. Share our videos. Subscribe to our page so that we self-able for grow. Because we don't get paid for this. It's all for the love of Mama Salon. So if una like what they do, and una make we keep doing them, it doesn't cost you anything. Just click a like and say well done, guys, and hopefully YouTube and Facebook then will respond and give you more ability for the way to they do so. So until next week, I'm gonna say bye, and I'm gonna hand you over to T-Boy, and we say once again thank you to our guests for honoring our invitation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Farmer, for that. And I go want to say thank you to Juma as well. But Chief Thonkla, let I come back to you one more time and get you final summary to the people we don't watch we and the one that we go for watch we. What thing will be your final take to them in terms of summarizing the entire interview we're going to do today with you in regards to your I'm aspiring to be the flag bearer for the APC party come 2023.
Well, Mr. I'm so thankful. May God bless you. I'm very grateful for this platform. I think this is one of the mediums them we don't create for test with credibility, for test with policy them, not only for test policy, but because policy get them, but you don't know why they fund them. And tonight I don't establish that I will fund them. One important thing I say send out to everyone. I know say the diaspora name has been dragged to the mud, but I will try my best make I live, make I try for the states what you can offer to a country. Yes, currently what the products of diaspora don't cause a lot of problems, but we can rectify them. Okay, actually, you don't say anyone can make mistake because looking at the past history of Sierra Leone, all the leaders they are not from diasporans, but they are all guilty of current shortcomings. So that's for say I'm not just use one diaspora and say, oh, now we're going for loyalty. No, this is a combination of leaders, right? So what it made sense to everyone across the board, be rest assured. If you see me name and ticket as Alhaji Bangura, Chief Thonkla Bangura has been elected as the next flag bearer of APC, change has come to Sierra Leone. That's the rest assured. Change has come to Sierra Leone. And the person go back get leadership while young. Because that's I get energy, I get the fire for moving the country forward. Right? Not when I don't tired, I don't become tired, I don't do anything, they give me power. I want to get power. When I'm young, I will deliver. Because I get the energy, I get the fire, I get the vision to do what I have to do. And currently I get the team. Where they work with me for trying to move that country forward. I don't look at I see all the box system, look at how we for finance the country, get investment, cut inside, and transfer the country. And again, we can't be Sierra Leone in isolation. We cannot be Sierra Leone on public fund, but private funding in the kind side for more change that country day. And we're not going to do them in isolation, we're going to work regionally and internationally. So leader what they pray to God for, I'd ask everyone, not lead in our country. We've got fearing and we'll get empathy. God-fearing and empathy. Anybody who then give to APC and supporter. Likewise, they give me I'll make the reciprocate. So I will end all these notes tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chief Thonkla Alhaji Osman Bangura, for the time we don't give you this evening for come express yourself to me and say we say you really want to be the flag bearer come 2023 for APC party. I'm not going to say any more than that, but let us just give a quick summary of all the things we want to talk about today. Other one where we start the interview, you make mention of kindly your manifesto to some extent when you put together all the issues then we don't talk about. One, that the fact say you want for reform the justice system in Sierra Leone, and by doing so, you want for tackle from the police force to make sure say they get new uniform, get a good standard of living, the way of life should be different, and be paid well. And you also want for split the two arms of government, one of which now the judiciary, you want to get a separate justice minister and a separate judge system. Attorney General, sorry. So those are the issues then where you feel to say you go bring for reform the justice system. And when it comes to the mental health state of Sierra Leoneans, you believe say a lot has happened over the years during the war, and we get plenty of people and we don't look after in terms of recreating their mindsets, in terms of rehabilitating them, where they affect growth within the country. So you have a team ready that will go and teach people how they will be able to reform themselves and rehabilitate them for make them be potential civilians them for enhance the growth of the country. We also mention of the gender disparity, the way you say you want to give equal opportunities to women when are 50-50, even though some people they say, well, 50-50, 5-5 is not good enough. They're possibly looking at an option of 7-3 or 3-7. It depends on how you look at them. But your own mandate was to make it 50-50, wherein everybody get an opportunity to serve. And when you say gender disparity, you know, it's for satisfy women and number because if you to say they need to occupy the space, but you also want to make them get the potential and ability to deliver. So they will be vetted as equally than they vet the male people and which therefore apply for then certain positions they have. So, and you also make mention, say, you take them right across the board from parliament to ministerial positions and head of parastatals, and also down to the locals. So that is what you said on gender disparities. And then when you also come to reforming parliament, you also make mention, say, there are certain parliamentary practices that right now we feel to say, no, they go down well within the reach of parliament, because certain things that the way parliamentarians for the advocates for within the country, they fail to do that. You make mention of the killing of Panama Road. You make mention of the libel law, where you feel to say infringe into the freedom of civilians. So basically, the freedom of speech, to be specific, of civilians. So if you say parliamentarians for the advocates more for issues than we national issues, not to just issues than we govern their own locality. And you also say you are for change the dynamics of parliamentarians, then for make them able for feel say then they serve the people then we vote for them. So if they fail for do so, you get a binding contract where go change based on the party legislation or what in the party manifesto say for change the fact say if you parliamentarian not perform according to what you don't tell the people until they do, there will be a petition we then go make against you where the party go endorse and parliament go also endorse and for me them vote you out and then get a by-election system. Even the Juma ask you say what are the possibilities of those by-election because of ENT's money, you say these are things that will be taken care of, because if there is enough funding, sometimes it will not even have to be something that will be funded. But again, there are so many other challenges that we come across for do that particular thing there, but we'll wait and see how you be able for bring those change into effect. And then we also make mention of the questions that will come right across the issues of health, issues of transportation, security, where you touch on at the last end, because somebody will ask specifically about what that you plan for security, even though you not touch on that in depth, but at least you talk something on the surface when you become the tri-country movement. When at the Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone in terms of manning their waters and their borders and making sure that security apparatus are well in place to make all those three regions very safe. When are the thing where you make mention of when it comes to security. And they also ask you question for deal with the mining, when are one of the biggest bread baskets of Sierra Leone. You say you cannot stop it. Any politician will tell you say it is stop mining is a big lie. But what you go do now for find a replacement for something we go for encourage them for a lot away from the mining sector so that they will be for gainful employment to be able for sustain them with something in mining again. So these are all your aspirations of what you intend to do. Again, what you intend to do not necessarily means say you get for do more, but now that's not your intention. We don't hear a lot about those intentions from so many politicians them from different political spectrum, but when they take off office, they do totally different. Like the people that would not the chat don't make mention of that several times, and they also don't question say what's going to make you different from what in all the other politicians they don't say. But that's not what's in their own views and opinion about what you don't say to them. You don't convince some you haven't convinced some, they still ask questions about certain things the way you don't say, but then it will be something for another day discussion. Like Wijuma say, we need to get you on board and we can talk about issues them, especially the issues that we family is in terms of the rights of the Creole people not having access to buy land in the provincial towns, and also some of the issues that we create in the face where then bill us now the provinces, then the chief then will come over and say, well, sorry, you not get access to this family in $1 million investment not going in vain because you not get access to the land because you not own them physically. So there are so many challenges that we faced with you right now as an aspiring flag bearer. It is totally going to be a different ballgame when you actually gain the title for be the flag bearer for one for APC. One thing we will not touch much within this interview now, the fact say, what is your dynamics related to the current status quo of what in the APC stand for and the rest of the other flag bearers then. But then we will left for another discussion with something will make a lot of difference in how we get to know you and how you relate to the other aspirant them and how on the merge things together for make una get a better 2023. Because like you clearly say, you will support anybody we take up the manship for make you be the flag bearer, and you equally so want for me and support you if it happen for make you be the person. So there is a lot of dynamics in terms of what you have said to us this evening, and we don't keep them in records because those records will stand forever. And again, we don't talk about what we intend for do going forward in terms of politics, specifically for those who want to take political positions, whether it be parliamentarian, whether it be local authorities in terms of councillors, mayors, stewardship, anything we get a lot for good politics. If we have the opportunity to reach out to you, we will invite you to come and tell us what are your intentions. We've started it a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago with the mayor, where he can digress to be what he don't achieve so far since it took up office of being the mayor of Freetown. So if we don't get the mandates for being vet people that already we sit down a position, we also want to make them open to those who are aspiring to be in those positions in the future. Salon politics is not about, I want to get involved. It's about, I want to make the change. It's about, what is the change that you intend to make? It's about how you're going to apply those amounts of changes that you intend to change. So it not just means say, you come and talk to me. Everybody likes some of the gestures and some of the things that we see and say, wow, Mr. Thonkla, I say if you don't go study properly before you can because everything we don't touch on so far, you have actually came up with an answer equally so you don't address those issues. But again,
thank you.
It's very good because we get for able for engage with the sort of discussion there also and allow the viewers then with the watch me for also participate actively. I think the next one we'll get for be something we get forget so calling possibly Juma, so at least you get the audience for interact with you in the physical, not just the text messages they all they eat, because no people for eat all the questions then because there are so many of them. At some point,
well, actually, T-boy, there are people calling, but we refuse to pick up because we want for you know, if wet force na the platform, they break the ice with them. So that make down that question, say we left and force. The dynamic, intra-party politics and all of that. You know, next day they grill you proper now.
No,
you know if you're a politician or not.
Because like I said to
I'm ready.
well, when we started the discussion, this is the first time he's actually coming on the platform on a one-to-one basis in terms of him voicing out his own opinion. Again, like you say, these are some of the things that he learned from 2018 because he needs to engage more with the media. And many politicians fail to do that because they think the media is just here to bash them. But guess what? The media is not here to bash what you have or your intention. It's just basically asking you questions and get you to be engaged with the people that you're going to serve. Because otherwise, when you're serving them, we don't have that opportunity to engage with you like we're doing now. So we might as well take advantage of that now that we have access. Because again, Juma, don't talk earlier on, 90% of the people who are in governance right now were at our mercy 3 years ago.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Meaning they were here in and out of the Sierra Leone Media Studio on a regular basis at some point. We were engaging each other every other day on the phone, online, on occasions. But when they took office, it's totally different. So we won't forget our opportunity now as we get them and ask you all the question then. And what they say to me is restored, it's been kept, it's been put aside. So when you take office, we begin to look at what you be saying you need to do. Like where will they go back again for look at what's in this current governments don't see them to do, we will don't begin to watch, they're not doing it, and then they give you all million excuses. We don't want to be living the dreams of Sierra Leone in promises being made by politicians and not being delivered. So we get for try for put an end to that. But I want to say thank you to our viewers and everybody who don't join me so far today on Facebook and YouTube and all the contributors and all the fans that will get we not just they grill you waste them as guests, but they also grill we when it's on the platform as the host because sometimes they ask us direct questions. And sometimes you look at this question, I'm like, okay, why you ask me this question now? I'm not going to respond. But we have to respond because otherwise we are ignoring the fact that they are asking us serious issues and we are avoiding. But we're not avoiding them. We always have to respond to them. Either we respond to them on the chat message or we respond to them verbally. So basically, this is why we're here. And we create this platform for everybody to come on board and share their opinion, share their views, share their vision. Because if you share your vision right, people will listen to you. And the amount of people that will listen to you, you'll be amazed how many followers you will build, how many haters you will have, and how many people will be in the fence or sit on the fence to know whether they will support you or not to support you. Like I said earlier on in my statement in regards to you as a person, my integrity for who you are is top notch.
Thank you.
In politics, I don't know, because again, but that's fact. In politics, I don't know. So I am now looking at you from a different perspective as a politician.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be looking at some of the things that you're doing, how you do things, and how you relate to the people that you're supposed to be serving. As far as I know, over the years that I've known you in the UK, I think I've been seeing you in a moderate environment, and how you interact with people. You're cutting across every spectrum, regardless of your position. Somebody was asking earlier on, what is your position in the APC? I think that doesn't need an answer. You are an aspiring.
Absolutely. That's it.
So, that is your position. You are an aspiring flag bearer.
So for letting for been taking 50 million the last 10 minutes,
thank you.
All the boxes.
Thank you. So you're doing this again for the second time around. First time, people might be thinking you're here for the popularity stunt. You want to make yourself known within the political spectrum. But to do it for the second time, again, people were asking, why wouldn't you want to go and start from the bottom, as in you want to go be MP first? But you've made it very clear. I mean, Donald Trump was not a member of parliament or Senate before he chooses to become
or congressman or state governor.
He was nothing. He was just a businessman who believed in his money, and he took up the office to say, I want to be the president of America.
Right.
Who can stop you to do that if you have the mandates to do it?
Right.
And the mandates are your manifesto that people should believe in, your money, and the fact that you can deliver.
And you're Sierra Leonean.
Well, obviously. Well, we have people who are not Sierra Leonean by passports, but they're
exactly.
in our offices. So, like Femi said, only very few of us carry the Sierra Leone passport. And I would say that with authority, because yes, I do. And that's the only thing that makes me look like a
Me too.
And Daniel, no one you know more.
Mr. Thonkla, T-Boy, just one last question from me is, when are you officially launching your campaign, or have you launched your campaign?
Yes, I declare my intention on my birthday, 27th of March this year.
Okay.
And my campaign is on. I'm holding meetings, and I'm actually following the trend.
The reason I ask you, we want to give you an opportunity to talk to people who are watching, who may want to connect with your campaign.
Yes, absolutely. The campaign started since last year, but I declare on my birthday, 27th of March this year, and I'm holding meetings. I'm making progress. I'm consulting, because I believe in consultation. Because when you consult, you minimize your errors. And I'm getting there. I just need your prayers and your guidance, because to be a leader is not easy. I cannot underestimate that burden, but I guarantee you I will deliver. I will deliver, because I anchor my campaign on prayers and God. I know God is the one that ordained leaders, not anyone. If God has ordained me to escape me, I'm going to have it.
Yeah.
As I believe.
Well, it's a good thing as you say that, because on yesterday's program, The Culture Show, our learned men specifically made this statement. If we get for call all the babalawo them, if we get for call all the pastors and the imam, for take the picture of we leaders them and cast them and bind them for make them do the good things for help with country, we for begin do that.
When I make them not begin suspend the imam, I make them not begin suspend the imam there now.
That's what
Juma, you like guess you. Who's I can pull on them story there?
Well, it's out there.
Somebody said to me last night.
The SLPP executive suspended the imam, the chief imam, now one of the mosques in Abons because they say he preach politics.
Politics. But that's also politics in Islam, isn't it?
Exactly. Politics in Islam.
Yeah.
We cannot bring politics into religious politics. It's a totally different ballgame. I think what you for allow Islamic or religious politics for to get their own practice, that's different. And politics on the mainstream politics is different.
But no side, no, they say, for talk about what thing they happen at the country.
Well, yeah, but again, I think politicians should, no, not politicians, religious leaders should avoid
talking about what's happening in the country.
No. They should avoid making mainstream political statement because they are meant to be serving the people, not praising, voting politicians. And they do. That's not their job. Their job is to pray and worship and make sure that people have the best knowledge of the God that they are serving. Not to come and tell us about what this politician did yesterday, tomorrow, and last week. We don't want to know that. Your practice is to bring godliness to people. Focus on that. Because if any politician, they can tell you in a church, they can't preach about me, tell and say, thank you, sir. But I am not interested in preaching about you, but the God that we are serving. If you know that you're doing the right thing, I don't have to talk about it. People will see it. It's in the physical. It is not going to hide. Why do I need to come and endorse it in church or in mosque? I think so we religious leaders then forget themselves engage into the deep mainstream politics because it is not helping the religious practice they will organize alone. Because everybody will begin pointing fingers at them, politicians them for godliness. So we for begin cast and bind the politicians them for make them do the right thing. Not to for cast and bind them for make them go able for go win election and then turn them back against we. That is what I think religious leaders should not get into. I totally believe in that, and that's my opinion. And I think it will serve everybody right if we allow religious leaders for be religious leaders and politicians for be politicians. There is politics in religion. Nobody is saying there isn't, but let them deal with their own politics inside religion. That's their own cup of tea. Because otherwise, no government in power, no get rights for can change imam na mosque, we know to the endorser. But for the fact say there are political divide in political drives in those religious establishments, it will create a problem. So I'm not going to say that's the reason, but I'm just saying generally, religious leaders should practice religion, let politicians do their mainstream politics. If they are for can support the church or mosque, fine, no problem, but they don't need an endorsement for that by the religious leaders themselves. Because that means you create even division inside your own church and mosque. Because not everybody will congregate with you, they support APC or SFPP. You always have a division of political party alliance in your church or mosque. So if you come for begin preach on one particular party segment, then you create problem for your congregation because you begin split them already. So if they take position of you, I'm not saying that's the reason why, but we get to look at the issues then behind them very closely and see what are the possibilities for that to happen. But like as we can always do at Share Media, we start one topic, we'll go to the next. Totally different from what we don't talk about for the past 3 hours. That is Share Media for you. So I believe we fans the way don't follow we all this while know exactly the dynamics of how things can change so quickly na Share Media platform. But we want to say thank you and extend all we good wishes to now for the support on the give and for the fact say una dey bien we and una believe in what we do because we dey give now possibly the open platform for like everybody share their view. And those views are very important because some of those views can be used as manifesto statement or document for any political party they feel to say they need for tap into those resources. So I want to say thank you once more to Thonkla, Chief Usman Alaji Thonkla Bangura for your time and effort we don't take today. I know say we say the program will last for 1.5 hours, 2 but knowing Share Media, we don't spend an hour here, especially with politicians, and we possibly not keep you for too long. But I want to say thank you for your time where you come and give it today. And I want to say thank you to Mr. Jumaba. Today I take your position and I look get some kind of free ride. But guess what? There is no free ride on this. It's not that easy as you might think it is. But it was a good thing that you came on board and then you make it a bit sweeter like Femi say, they enjoy the program, but as Juma can say, so you don't change the whole dynamics of what the whole thing they about. That's Juma for you. Not like Mama, you like it, so you don't. It will give you the taste of him. Yeah. But that is exactly what we are for, and that's what we stand for. And as we know, we don't really endorse ourselves because we don't believe in all our own views ourselves. So we even challenge ourselves on issues that we get separate ideologies on. That makes the platform even more challenging for even we, where they present things into owner. So we're here to also learn and also share, learning from people who are online, learning from our guests, and learning from everybody else we join with. Sometimes when we go back after the shows, that's when the questions start pouring. That's when people start asking questions. People start making comments. But we always go back and listen to those comments. But unfortunately, sometimes we don't respond. Sometimes we just look at them. Sometimes we address those issues on the other shows that we have. Like what I said earlier on, we'll make mention of what happened yesterday. I make mention of an Untitled show because it is related. So we do that most of the time. We cross into different shows than what we done in the past. And subsequent one we get for coming in the future. You can just tap into the number quickly. Like what I'll make mention to now say, when I watch out for the next challenge with Mr. Thonkla, get forget with we, get for based on the fact that he's a PCN and what you think about the other flag bearers them and the political party itself and what's in the instance on some of the issues them of the reforms then we then it's time for implement. So one for extend with thanks and appreciation to everybody. And I think say we'll get for be back with you guys next week. I don't think there's anything tomorrow, Femi.
Yeah, nothing tomorrow, but let them keep watching. Maybe something will happen.
I know say you got something at the pipeline, but you know what for talking. But anyway, that's Sarah Jane Media for you. But definitely, if something is coming up, you will know a few hours before time. And like Femi don't say earlier on, continue to like our page. Click our anything that you like on our past shows, the current one today, and also not forget to follow me on our Facebook and we YouTube page, because the amount of time you click, the amount of knowledge we get, and the amount of inspiration we get for come online and deliver most of what's in the people in way they look up to you for do, they come for do. So until next week, possibly we will get a show tomorrow, but not too sure yet. We will see you now. One for say keep it safe. It's getting closer to the weekend, and make sure you enjoy the rest of summer in the UK as the rains don't begin for them. The weather they slightly changed. We don't get the marathon last week. This weekend, that ends the official summertime. We get for change within the next couple of days or weeks, and then we go into spring, and we able to see exactly what's in the win target forget for we. But not forget to we get for go Cameroon. Yes, the draw don't come out. We'll talk about that sometime next week, and we'll get the platform back again for talk about sports. And again, the sports this time around is slightly different from the one we don't cover during the Euros. We happened a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, if I would say. But nevertheless, England lost. But I believe say Salon stand a chance for make proper headway because we get the likes of Ivory Coast, Tunisia. Is it Tunisia, Juma? And few more of the fringe countries than we they expect, but they are not fringe. Like I listen to the draw and Didier Drogba and Essien say, no, not Essien. This guy, Asama Jam.
Yeah.
He say every country will qualify for any competition they go there for win. So never underestimate anybody. So until next time, it's just a reflecting statement for say Thonkla they join the race because he believes say he will win. Now make he join the race. He believes in himself. He believes in his ability. He believes in his manifesto, and he believes in himself to deliver for Sierra Leone. That's why he's joining the race to be the next flag bearer for the All People's Congress come 2023. So until next time, I will say tata on behalf of the Sierra Leone media team once more. We see you guys next week, hopefully tomorrow.
Thank you and good night. Thank you.
Yes, this not time for all Salon people and then party them. Sarah Media will be bringing you a variety of programs ranging from documentaries to discussions, interviews, news, views, sports, and entertainment. Our programs will contain matters on development, governance, the economy, and issues that are of importance to Sierra Leone. So, no left BNO because we get Beberebe program then like salon discussion, meets the ministers, the president's hour and the Gladi program. Look me, I look you. All this they start soon na www.sarahjmedia.org. Now who's term these?
The total population of Sierra Leone in 2019 was stated approximately at 7.8 million. And the most common cancer reported in 2018 was breast cancer, with an incidence rate of 25.1% and a mortality rate of 19.2%. Ward 2 at the Connaught Hospital, Freetown, is a female surgical ward that cares for patients requiring breast surgery, chemotherapy, and palliative care. General surgery also admits to the ward as see fit. The ward is in need of a significant refurbishment and has a major impact on patient assessment and delivery of treatment, dignity, comfort, and infection control measures. The current ward area presents a significant challenge to infection control. There is no fit for purpose or adequate personal hygiene facilities. The showers and sanitary areas are in poor condition and are difficult to clean. The flooring is deteriorated. Overall deco and fabric of the walls need repair and full decoration. Furniture, cupboards, and shelving require replacement. The sluice, known to be the dirty utility room, is in poor condition and needs replacing. Windows need to be replaced as current windows bring in draughts, dust, debris, mosquitoes, and rodents. There is no designated area to provide a day service for patients receiving chemotherapy. Medical supplies is desperately needed. Therefore, we need a total amount of £15,000, which is equivalent to 195 million leones, for this project. This project will focus on women diagnosed with breast cancer and other non-malignant breast abnormalities requiring one or more of the treatment modalities that are currently available. We will also set up a day unit for the administration of chemotherapy and provide training and development to ensure sustainability. Therefore, I am pleading to all individuals, organizations, and local businesses, and every Sierra Leonean and friends of Sierra Leone to make a meaningful contribution that will never go in vain. Ways to contribute will be seen at the end of this clip. I am Aissata Cissé Jallow of the Health Show Partnership Program. Remember, your health is your wealth.
Mina Yvonne Akisoya, and 11th May 2021 make me 3 years where I don't day in office. I say let I come and tell Freetonians them una boku tenki for where una elect me and wanna give me this mandate for serve una. But I not just want to tell una thank you for when I elect me, I want to tell una thank you for when I don't work with me and work with the councillors, work with the staff of Freetown City Council, work with so many stakeholders, including the central government, the international partners, the local partners. I want to tell una, the Freetonians, and thank you, but I want to tell all the other groups and the boku tenki. Together, we embark on a journey for Transform Freetown, and in nobody not been say it go easy. We published the plan in January 2019, and then in January 2020, we published our first year report, and then in January 2021, we don't publish with 2-year report. Inside the reports and day, you go able for read in much more detail, waiting we don't achieve. But family them, I still just share today some of the things that really make me heart gladdy pan this walk here. One thing we're really glad about, now the wastewater treatment plant where we don't build na King Tom. This is not the first time ever in the history of Salone for let we get then thing we come on the toilet. Instead of it just gonna grow na King Tom, it actually go into a plant where they get for separate the solid from the liquid and get for treat them and waiting for come out can go towards manure. It can now be safely the liquid can now safely be disposed into the waterways. Another practical thing we are so glad for. Now this urban farming project, we bring over 300, in fact we start with 300, now we add another 200 women them. We now at them backyard them and in community level, particularly in deprived communities.
And you can create this, what you give, the okra they come up, they will plant them.
The women they do farming projects where go benefit them picking them for get more nutritious food, but it go also help them for get small thing at the hand as they sell them in the market. And then their nursery school. Family then go no say we've been done open the one at Congo Water Market for make vulnerable women them and then young picking them under the age of 5 get free quality preschool care. And now we dip and build the second one. We do refurbishment upstairs in the Croton Road Market, and that facility will be open and available to women and men traders inside Croton Road Market. Tricycles. Well, then tricycle and they not only then they help for keep we city clean, they also they create employment. We don't create so far over 1,200 jobs with young people then where they go and collect dirty na the streets. And now we get 90 more where they come on stream. So I'm so happy because it increased the capacity for collect dirty. At the same time, it increased the number of people them, young people that we get work. Let not talk and not talk about the transfer station. When I did the dirty, then they go. So we don't get 4 additional ones, including the one at Lumley, the one at Approved School, the one at Shell, and the one at Allentown. Bele Uman them. Then they all over our community. That journey for going to PCMH, it can challenge Bako of them. So with the work for upgrade, 5 of we PHUs them for make them be monk, side with side Bele Uman, the able for born. Freetown people then, Boku people that know say dog na challenge na this city. And so we don't start a program for sterilize, vaccinate the dogs them so that we go get control over dogs and we the ambog motaman, but we the ambog themselves. We go make we city healthier and you go reduce the risk for let people then get us sick with and call rabies. I don't share small about wait we don't do and over these 3 years, but I just touch the thing in Boku. I go say anybody wants for no more. Also go now with Facebook page. We get Freetown City Council Facebook page. We also get Yvonne Akisoya, Mayor of Freetown. You go able for follow we. Let we continue for work together with all we stakeholders for let collectively we transform Freetown. Una, thank you and God bless you.
Talk and go, talk and come.